I mean, I like, yeah, yeah. Days twin.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to call your attention to the west end zone, where the American flag, the state of Tennessee flag, and the Powell High School flag has already been raised. Gentlemen, please remove your cap as the Powell High School singers and alumni, under the direction of Mr. Jim Kennedy, sings our national anthem.
What's that? Yeah, it does. You want to get the starters ready? Some changes.
Is this the starters? The white one?
Yeah. We're getting close.
There's no off on this one, is there?
What's that?
There's no off on this one, is there?
No. Yeah, so you can get it out.
No, you're good. Do I need to get a separate one, or just at the end of the game, I'm just going to use that one?
Yeah, it would be. It's the yellow one, I guess.
Which box? Big one?
Of course, it's on the bottom. Omaha, height. Omaha, height.
No.
Oh, wait.
Bad for being back.
Yes, that's funny. I actually thought about that.
We need a tweeter. We need
I had one a couple years ago. Here we go. That's our horn here at Powell High School on FM 90.7, FM 94.7, and that is going to get very annoying, Alex Myers, as we're getting ready for Oak Ridge High School football against the Powell Panthers. These starting lineups.
We do. First off on defense for Oak Ridge, defensive end, senior Ben Birdwell. At nose, it's freshman Tim Waters, followed by defensive end, a junior 6'4", Elijah Bradley. At cornerback, back in the starting position for the first time since the Jamboree just before the season, number 9, junior Connor Cummings. At linebacker, it's stalwart Brian Kelly, leading tackler on this team, almost double the amount of tackles as anyone else on this Oak Ridge roster. Also at linebacker, senior Terrence Anthony and junior Bashan Knowles. At the other two cornerback positions, it's Izzy Mitchell and Brandon Hayward. Safeties, Price Davis and sophomore Dallas Friend. Your kicker and punter tonight, filling those duties, Brennan holding David Wilson, long snapper Jeremiah Holman, and holder Nehemiah Elmore. On offense, up front, left tackle Truett Tex, senior. Next up, junior, the left guard Elijah Israel, followed by center, senior Parker Surley. Right guard Searle, right guard Austin Hill, and right tackle senior Nick Lucas. At wideout, junior Brandon Hayward, freshman Will Presley, and junior Izzy Mitchell. At running back, no surprises here, Almani Robert and DeJavis Dozier, although I'm sure Jai Hunley will get some action, but will not be in that starting lineup. And of course, at quarterback, the big story this week, David, and I'll sort of segue back to you, Ethan Garza. Peyton Sharp got hurt, apparently, this past week. He will not be out there tonight.
He actually had surgery on Wednesday, I believe, and he will be out probably at least until the Campbell County ball game. The good news and bad news, last week Peyton obviously had the concussion, and Ethan had to come in and play a good portion of the Lenore City ball game 2 weeks ago, I should say. So he has some experience at varsity level, but not against the defending state champions. No,
it's a different animal, and it's a different team for Powell than it was last year. Still very talented, but obviously you don't have the big guy up front, the 5-star All-American Texas A&M Aggie now, Walter Nolan. So it's a different challenge, but still a challenge nonetheless. One of the more talented teams that Oak Ridge will see all season.
One thing that Coach Cummings just said to me in the post-game or pregame was that Oak Ridge has to quit shooting themselves in the foot. That is something they have done with too many penalties. Turnovers have not been the big factor, but penalties at the wrong time, and they've got to get past that tonight because this is an outstanding team. You can't make mistakes against good teams like that. You can't give them extra yards.
Overstate, but I will say I was doing something else. But one of the things I did get to see is a bunch of area teams, and I saw Powell probably more than any other team outside of Oak Ridge. And what I'll say is this: as talented as their quarterback is, he has the tendency, at least through the first 3 years of his career, Jordan Potts, he's extremely talented. A lot of times he'll throw a ball up for grabs. And if you're Oak Ridge, I think you'll get those opportunities. He trusts his wide receivers. He's got athletes. He's going to throw up balls, sort of 50-50 balls. Oak Ridge will have a couple shots at getting a turnover, I think, tonight, I predict. But it's a matter of, can you come down with those? And with the young quarterback that's a little bit more inexperienced on Oak Ridge's side, might have to bail him out a couple times and try to steal a couple possessions. That may be one way to do that.
Alex, the Wildcats have won the toss. They have deferred to the second half, so the Wildcats will be kicking off to the very powerful Anderson County, our team 8-14, and Maryville 38-13. But since that time, they have won 3 consecutive games over Science Hill, Clinton, and Halls. And Before I forget, sometime tonight I want to talk about that Clinton-Campbell County game that I watched last night. Just a fabulous high school game to watch. As the Wildcats prepare to kick off, they'll be kicking from left to right, wearing their all-white football pants, white jerseys, cardinal numerals. The Powell Panthers wearing their black football pants, gray jerseys with black numerals with an outline of orange. The Wildcats will be kicking from left to right. Brennan Pearson will be kicking for the Wildcats, and we're just moments away. Last time we were here, a game that Oak Ridge jumped on them really quick. I remember Kendall Jackson had a very, very fine first half. The Wildcats saw that game kind of drift away in the second half. Hopefully the Wildcats can get off to another fine start here tonight. Here's Pearson with the kickoff, and this one is underway. Hits it well, angling towards the end zone, and that will be a touchback. Something we have seen all season long. Alex Myers, Brennan Pearson does a great job hitting it just about every kickoff into the end zone.
He does, and I don't know if it'll come into play, but there is, as beautiful a night as it is, there has been a pretty steady, I don't know, probably 10, 15 mile an hour wind from left to right as we were sitting on the home press box, and Oak Ridge was kicking left to right. I guess that would be going east to west. So something to keep note of in the kicking game is that the wind is definitely going to aid the team going towards the right side of the stadium.
First down, 10 yards to go. The ball's at the 20-yard line. They're moving right to left. Jordan Potts, as Alex mentioned, great quarterback. Seems like we've played him for about 10 years. He's finally a senior. They got one receiver to the right. He's going to fire a pass. The pass is going to be caught. Big hit there, but not before they gain about 12 on the play.
That's Aiden Green, a senior. He's a guy with all sorts of college hype around him as well. A lot of Division I offers, if I'm not mistaken. That's a guy who's that connection. Both guys playing a lot of time for 3 or 4 years together in an offense. They've got the chemistry. They've both got the talent. That's going to be a matchup for Connor Cummings at cornerback in his first start tonight, coming off an injury. It's going to be one to watch.
From the 32-yard line, moving right to left. First down, 10 yards to go for Powell. Potts with a single running back. One thing that Coach Cummings said, they have really tried to run the ball much more this year. Another quick pass is going to be caught for another first down. They gain another 11 yards up to the 44-yard line. The tackle is made by the Wildcats. Two quick hitters there, 2 first downs for Powell.
And Oak Ridge knows, just like everybody at home listening knows, this team can hurt you with the deep ball. They've got the talent on the edges. The problem, though, for Oak Ridge is they're playing about 8 yards off the ball, and so the short routes are there right now.
3 receivers split to the right. The ball is at the 44-yard line of Powell. Potts the only one in the backfield. 2 receivers to his left. The Wildcats try to get a little pressure in. Pass is going to be caught. Shorter gain this time. It's caught by number 9 for the Powell Panthers. It's a gain on the play of about 5. We'll call it second down, 5 yards to go for the Panthers. The ball just shy of the 49-yard line.
That's Nico McDonald, 6'2 junior, another talented guy on the edge. And the problem is now that Oak Ridge if Oak Ridge tries to creep up, then obviously the deep ball is a threat as well.
Second down, 5 yards to go. Once again, Potts sends a man in motion over to the right side. Senior quarterback back to pass across the way. Pass is wide open. Right in the middle, down the field they go. Moving the ball up the field before he is finally tackled by Izzy Mitchell. A flag goes down at around the I guess the 14-yard line. Flag went down. Beautiful pass, wide open in the middle part of the field.
It was, and Oak Ridge's linebacker, number 6, which, Dave, you'll have to tell me who that is because I don't know.
Terrence Anthony.
I was going to say, did he switch numbers?
He did, but just
I think in warm-ups he was his normal numbers. There's a flag downfield, but anyways, he jumped, nearly got a hand on it. If he was about an inch or two taller, might have been able to bat that one down, but a really nice placement on that throw across the middle from Potts. Sets, presumably, the Powell Panthers up inside the 15. The flag didn't come in until the end of the play, so you would think that it was against Oak Ridge on the tackle, but I didn't really see anything.
Well, they're backing up. They're backing Powell up. It's going to be personal foul against the Powell Panthers.
I don't know what that call is. A personal foul, and he sort of put his fist together, the official did.
Not exactly sure myself, but he did get the ball across the 35-yard line. Penalty is step at that point at the 34. It'll be first down, 10 yards to go. So they've had 4 plays. They've had 3 first downs, almost 4 plays.
Yeah, and even with that penalty, still a first down and inside Oak Ridge's 35-yard line.
11:01 to play first quarter, just underway. Oak Ridge and Powell, scoreless game. Slot man to the right. Quarterback's going to run it. He's in a lot of trouble. He's going to go down right at the line of scrimmage. Might have even lost about a half a yard. That time the Wildcats were all around him. No place to go. It'll be second down, 10 yards to go for the Powell Panthers.
That's showing his veteran savvy right there from the quarterback. He's had some injuries and gotten dinged up in the past, and he could have tried to fight for a yard or two and instead just saw a couple of linemen coming at him after he'd already made one or two guys miss, and he just sort of settled down and took the sack.
Second down, as I mentioned, 10 yards to go. Just underway, first quarter, 10:20 to play here in this first period here at Powell High School. Beautiful night for football. Quarterback hands it to the back. He runs right into LaShawn Knowles, and he drops him right at the line of scrimmage. No gain really on the play. It'll be for Powell. Third down, 10 yards to go.
And I would not be surprised at all if Powell doesn't try something short in the passing game to the outside, maybe a hitch or something 5 and out, just to set themselves up potentially for a 4-down territory, because they're a little bit too close to punt and absolutely out of field goal range at this point.
Loss of 2 on the play for Knowles. It'll be third down, 12 yards to go. Man comes in motion. They've got 2 receivers to the right, nobody here to the left. Here comes the pass rush, and the quarterback is going to be sacked. There's holding 2 on number 33 for the Powell Panthers. They drop him right at the original line of scrimmage. We'll check the call.
Yeah, and this is going to be an interesting position for Oak Ridge, because anywhere else in the field you decline this penalty. But I think Oak Ridge, I think Powell's going to go for it if they don't accept it. And so Oak Ridge decides to decline it. So it's going to be 4th and 12. And you'd think, well, of course they're going to punt it, but at this spot in the field, at the 36-yard line, they're not going to punt this, David. So this is
9:25 to play first quarter. They were very successful with their passing game on 3 of their first 4 plays. I'm sure Potts wants to deliver another 12-yard strike here for another first down. We'll see what he can do.
Watch Aiden Green on the outside.
Split out to the right side, 2 moves to the left. Potts feeling some pressure, goes deep down the way. Pass is well overthrown. Oak Ridge will take over on downs. Very, very good job by the Wildcats. Oak Ridge got pressure on him. Potts delivered the pass, well overthrown, and the Wildcats will take over on downs.
Yeah, Oak Ridge had it covered. They actually went the opposite side of Green. They had 3 guys on the right side, trips formation, and 1 man all alone on the near sideline. It was their big 6'2 junior. Just overthrown. A nice little nudge a few yards downfield by Brandon Hayward. Not enough to get the penalty, but enough to slow him down and make that well overthrown. David, nice stand by the defense after they looked a little bit rattled early on. Outstanding.
It'll be Oak Ridge's offense coming onto the field. We'll see what Ethan Garza can do. His first start as an Oak Ridge Wildcat. Did not play a year ago as he transferred from Bearden. Getting a chance to play. It'll be Will Presley split out to the right. The Wildcats in the backfield with Jai Hunley and Dozier. Wildcat quarterback Ethan Garza. He is a junior, 6'1". He's going to hand it off to Dozier, and Dozier is hit in the middle part of the line and dropped for a loss.
Garza should have kept that one, and it's easy to say in hindsight, but that's just one that he's got to keep in his pocket, because not only did Garza have some room to run, but he also had Jai Hunley out there with him, who he could have pitched it to or could have become a lead blocker. And Garza, not the most experienced passer, but he's a pretty good athlete, and like Peyton Sharp and like a couple of these other quarterbacks, Nehemiah Elmore we've seen get some playing time this year, all of Oak Ridge's quarterbacks can be some threats to run.
Rimbert and Hayward split to the left side of the quarterback. The Wildcats have a slot man and Jai Hunley to the left as well. Will Presley, single coverage on the freshman here. Man comes in motion, and Garza is going to be sacked. He looked to his right. Either the play was not what he thought it was going to be, but he turned to his left and he got buried.
Yeah, to me, it looked like Charvin Thomas, the big sophomore who came off the edge, like his pants were on fire. And David, I actually think that was a design quarterback run, because the play looked like it was going to go to one side. He never even considered. I mean, he just turned and immediately went to run. Problem was, there was nowhere to go.
Third down, now 17 yards to go for the Wildcats. The Wildcats going backwards here. 7:45 to play here in the first quarter. Ethan Garza, quarterback. Hunley in a slot to the left side. And now the Wildcats are going to have to use a timeout. Let's take it ourselves. We're live here at Powell High School on FM 92.7. 0-0 our score. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
I watched it. We should have been poaching 3 this backside thing. The backside safety should be on 3.
Welcome back once again to Powell High School here. The Wildcats have it 3rd down, 17 yards to go. Cowbells are out here at Powell High School. Alex Myers, here's a quick pass. Oliver goes to Rimber. Rimber moves the ball back close to the original line of scrimmage. Was it Brandon Hayward on the catch? I just saw the 3. I'm distracted by the cowbell and the air horn right here in front of us. It is going to be short of a 1st down, 4th down and about 2, and Brandon Pearson will come into the ballgame. Thank you for correcting me. I don't know how I'm going to get through here with be able to think here.
Get through it with a headache is what you're going to do, David. Pearson with his heels at the Oak Ridge 21, and he's got a boot. And look at this. Powell's respecting it. The Powell guy's inside his own 30.
4th down, we'll call it 12 yards to go. Good snap, lots of pressure. He gets the punt away. High, very high spiraling kick, and fair catch is made wisely at the 25-yard line. A lot of pressure. Pearson was able to get the punt off, and he had a booming high spiral. No way in the world they could return that one.
He did, and the crazy part is, David, he really didn't even get to step into it. That's concerning. Powell got really close to getting a hand on that one. A lot of pressure.
Back on offense go the Powell Panthers, their second. They were able to pick up 3 first downs on their first drive, but then their drive stalled. We'll see what Oak Ridge's defense can do. The Wildcats and the Powell Panthers. Surprisingly, this is only the 12th game they've ever played between the two. As close as they are and as long as the two schools have been playing football, this is only the 12th meeting. Jordan Potts, quarterback. 3 receiver split to the left side. The Cincinnati commitment is Aiden Green. Handoff goes to the running back, and he slithers through forward before Terrence Anthony and one other right before him make the stop. Wildcats, let's see. Not sure who the other guy was. Might have been Connor Cummings out there as well. It'll be gained on the play of 6 yards. 2nd down, 4 yards to go.
A good spot by our good friend Mike Sheehan, who we'll hear from in a little bit, telling us that was Connor Cummings. And it's a hard spot for Cummings to be. Not only is his first start halfway through the season, but he's doing it against a really, really talented group of wide receivers.
2nd down, 4 yards to go. The Wildcats put 4 on the line, 5 on the line, looking at a blitz. Here's Potts. Here's a pass. It's going to be caught. Wildcats just a hair short of picking that one off, perhaps. Good defense, I thought, by the Wildcats. Dallas Frint got in really, really quick, got his hands up. Potts had to deliver the pass a little bit quicker probably than he wanted to, but he's such an accurate passer, he was able to deliver a strike and a 1st down.
He absolutely was. It was Brandon Hayward on the coverage, and if he, like you said, if he was there about a 1/3 of a second quicker, he might have picked that off, and he might still be running.
5:51 to play first quarter. Scoreless ball game. Powell with the ball at their own 40-yard line. 1st down, 10 yards to go. Quarterback Potts to pass. Pass is caught, and Connor Cummings makes the tackle at around the 47-yard line. High pass, great reception there by the Panther receiver.
I think we're just going to have to make an adjustment at some point, David. The corners, the 2 corners on the outside are giving up 8 yards a pop. It's not bad coverage, but they're starting so far off the line of scrimmage, and they have to respect the vertical threat and the ability to go downfield for Powell. At any of those
gain of about 10 or so. There go for the extra point here. Kind of blocked a little bit. Lots of pressure. Kick is up, and it is good. 7-0 Powell. 4 minutes, 52 seconds to play first quarter. We'll be back with the Panther kickoff in 60 seconds.
That's 13, and it's Connor Weir.
This music's going to get us thrown off.
Really?
Hey, Robin, what do you think about going back to base and putting my outside linebacker in the hole back
David Clary back here along with Alex Myers, Mike Sheehan, a host of others. We're live on FM 92.7. Here comes the Powell kickoff. They lead it now 7-0. A little squib kick is going to go bounding, and it's going to go out of bounds, and that'll be a penalty. Last night, I don't know if you got a chance to watch the Clinton-Campbell County game. Both kickers, both teams, almost every kick was kicked out of bounds, and a lot of times Campbell County would just make them re-kick it while the Dragons would take it at the 35. You get that option, but they made them do it. And I'm not talking about 1 or 2. I'm talking about 10 or 15 that went out of bounds during the game.
That's incredible. I didn't watch it. I was able to keep up a little bit online, but wasn't watching it. And Oak Ridge is actually going to make them re-kick this as well. And when you got Jai Hunley and Almani Rimbert back there deep, I can understand why, because you want to give those guys as many touches in a game like this as you can. You finally, for the first time, with the exception of Elijah Rogers, and that's a big exception, but other than that, Oak Ridge finally, really for the first time all year, feels like they have just about their full arsenal of weapons to use, after losing so many guys to injuries throughout the year.
Once again, they'll be kicking off from right to left here after the 5-yard step off. The Wildcats have got to do a better job on offense. The first 2 or 3 plays of that previous drive were not in the best of plays, and hopefully Coach Cummings and his offensive staff have got Ethan maybe a little calmed down for his second series here as Powell will kick off again. Another line drive kick. Once again, it's going to go out of bounds, and that'll be another 5-yard step off against the Powell Panthers. This is exactly what I saw last night.
The backers come ran and cut it up.
And indeed, they're going to back them up another 5 yards. So this helps a little bit.
It certainly does. And, we looking at the kicker's body language, and one of the coaches, it looked like he said, sort of get a little more air under it. So I'll be interested to see if they try to do that on this one and risk Oak Ridge getting a better chance at a return. But hey, Oak Ridge will happily just continue to take 5 yards at a pop. Is now Powell's kicking it all the way back from their own 30-yard line.
So we understand we're going to have a very bad Wi-Fi signal, which doesn't surprise me when we go on the road. We'll try to fix that here in a second on our stream. But we're on FM 92.7, FM 94.7. Now they're kicking from the 30-yard line with the Wildcat return guys standing back at the 20-yard line. 7-0 our score. 4:52 to play first quarter. Powell on top. Here's the kick. It's another squib kick right in the middle of the field. Going to be picked up by Oak Ridge at the 25 to the 30. That's Jai Hunley at the 35. Moves the ball forward to the 42-yard line, and that is where Oak Ridge will take over first down, 10 yards to go. He almost found a big enough crease to take it to the house that time. He just kind of spun around, got some yardage, good return, good field position. Let's see what the Wildcats can do.
And Jai is pretty hard to miss wearing number 7 out there. He's a pretty big dude, but he was sort of hunkered down almost, squatting behind that initial line of blockers for him, and he just sort of was patient and finally spun around and found a little bit of a crease and had a lead blocker in Brian Kelly. And if he didn't get tackled where he did, there was nobody in front of him. It was a great play by the Powell defender to save a touchdown.
Brian Kelly is the tight end. He's in a slot to the right side. Hunley and Hayward split to the right.
Let's see if Garza uses his legs on this drive. There was a really good opportunity, and he just made the wrong read last time.
Here comes Dozier with a big hole. Moved the ball across the 46-yard line up to around the 47. Good gain on the play on the right side. It'll be a gain of 5 on the play.
It was pretty good blocking up front. Nice initial surge there from the Oak Ridge offensive line. And that's, I think, the game plan for Oak Ridge, a recipe for success in our offensively is, hey, you got all these playmakers, but ultimately you've got to be able to run the ball against this defense, and you've got to be able to help Garza out back there. You can't let him throw 35, 40 times, expect to put this game on his shoulders in his first start.
Ball's at the Oak Ridge 47-yard line, second down, 4 yards to go. Garza's going to get the handoff once again. He's at the 50. He's got a 10 bank of Oak Ridge first down as he brings the ball right into Powell territory, officially down at the 47-yard line. First and 10 Wildcats.
And it's a 10 bank of Oak Ridge first down.
I already said it, Alex.
Well,
I remember these things.
I thought it was going to be the first time ever that I had got you on that. Details.
It is indeed. It is a first down for the Wildcats at the 47-yard line. 2 receivers split to the left, 1 to the right. Brian Kelly in a slot to the right. Guards on quick passes to Jai Hunley. Got a block. Moved.
Derrick Henry impression. Just stuck his stiff arm out there, and instead of going down at the 40, the guy took him about 6 more yards to be able to drive him out of bounds, and it ultimately resulted in a first down by Oak Ridge. Just so impressed by how this Oak Ridge running back all year, this whole trio of them, how they run and how they operate after contact.
Play clock's down to 6. The Wildcats have it first down, 10 yards to go. Will they get the play off? Garza 2-1. He does. He's going to pass it once again to Hundley. It's incomplete. It'll be second down, 10 yards to go. 3 minutes, 22 seconds to play here in the first quarter. 7-0 Powell.
It wasn't a great throw. It was going to be a hard catch to make. Jai Hundley was having to go low, but I think he heard footsteps there as Jonte Dunn, the big sophomore, was bearing down on him and was getting ready to blast him had he caught that ball.
Ball is at the 35-yard line. My name is David Clary, along with Alex Myers. We're also joined by Lee Wexler, doing camera work up top. Down on the field, we have, for the Wildcat our camera crew, we have Matthew Charles. We have, for the Wildcats, Josh Frazier, as Hundley comes in motion. 1st and 10. Handoff Dozier. There's a big hole. He stays on his feet and moves the ball to the 30. He just barely got tripped up there, or he might have gotten to that first down. It is a gain of 5. It'll bring up third down, 5 yards to go.
Hey, that's what you got to do. If you're Oak Ridge, you got to put your quarterback in position to succeed. 3rd and 5, that's manageable. You want to avoid those 3rd and 8, 3rd and long situations. Right now, not a lot of pressure on Garza, because ultimately you're probably in 2-down territory. You just can't lose yards, get sacked, or force a throw.
3 minutes to play here in the quarter. Garza to pass. Wide open. Pass is caught. Brandon Hayward for a first down across the 20-yard line. Down to the 19. 1st and 10. A 10-bank of Oak Ridge first down. The Wildcats looking much better on this drive.
And you know what? When you're a quarterback, not a lot of experience. A few years ago, what was the rule? If you're in trouble, just throw it up to 5, right? Well, this year, T's not out there, but Brandon Hayward is. And I think that's a guy Oak Ridge wants to get going a little bit more in the second half of the season. And 3rd down, where do you go to? One-on-one coverage. I'm taking 13 more times than not.
First down, 10 yards to go. The ball's at the 20-yard line. Ethan Garza, quarterback. Receivers left and right. High snap. Ethan has to come down with it. He's going to run the ball and get good positive yardage. He got drilled out of bounds, way out of bounds. The snap was really high, and we've got a new center. Our center is out. Parker Searle had to get the start today as center, one of the first bad centers, but Garza made the most of what he had.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a high snap, and like you said, Garza really showing some athleticism there, being able to concentrate, catch the ball, but not immediately just falling down, keeping his eyes downfield and managing to get something out of nothing there. It should have been a loss of several yards. Oak Ridge lucky to hang on the ball. Instead, he manages to gain a couple yards out of it.
2:08 to play here in this first quarter. 7-0 Powell. The Wildcats second down, 9 yards to go. Ball is at the Powell 19-yard line. Garza rolls to his right, fires a pass. Pass is caught at the 15, down to the 10-yard line. Very nice reception. Brandon Hayward, once again, nice play, Oak Ridge.
You got to get him going, and I like going to him. I wonder if they'll go back to that look at some other point during the game, because freshman Will Presley actually was open in the end zone, and if he just gets his eyes a little bit further downfield, Oak Ridge has 6.
Third down, 1 yard to go. The Wildcats bringing in their jumbo set.
Tim Waters coming into the ballgame, the nose tackle.
The Wildcats have it 3rd and 1. The ball is resting at the Powell 11-yard line. Brandon Hayward will be receiver. The only one split out to the left side. Hundley in the backfield for the Wildcats. Wildcats have got to get in position. The Wildcats under center. Ethan Garza is going to hand it off to Hundley. He bounces to the outside. He has end zone in front of him. He scores. Touchdown, Oak Ridge. Jai Hundley scores with 1:15 to play in the first quarter. It's 7-6 Powell.
Great vision. That
a class of 1989 Wildcat touchdown. Here's the kick. It's on its way. It's up, and it is good. 7-7 our score. 1:15 to play in the first quarter. We'll be back to Powell High School in 60 seconds.
That's what I said.
Brennan Pearson to kick off the Wildcats. He hits it end over end, and once again it'll be a touchback. And back on offense we go to the Powell Panthers. We got a brand new ball game. 7-7 the score. An excellent drive there for the Wildcats. Crisply moving the ball up the field. The Wildcats tie the ball game 7-7. A minute 15 to play in the first period.
Yeah, it was a great, just tremendous response by Oak Ridge that time. And now it's time for the defense on. And I know you can't see it at home, but David, I just have to say, what a blessed time we're living in. Look at this sky. You know, Friday nights are always pretty inside a football stadium, but we have got a absolute painting of a sky right now that we're looking at with pinks and oranges. I just had to take a moment and say that.
7-7 our score. Jordan Potts back at quarterback. First down, 10 yards to go at the 20-yard line. Potts is going to hand it to his back. He slithers forward, hits the 20-yard line, only going to gain about a yard. Red sky at night, sailor's delight, they say. Maybe we can get Lee Wexler to take a shot of the sky while we have a break here. We're down to a minute to play here. It'll be a gain of the play. Officially, they're going to say it's 2 yards. Second down and 8 yards to go. 7-7 our score here from Powell High School. Here comes Potts leading his team up to the line once again. 2 receivers to his left, 1 lone running back, 2 to the right. They've got a slot on the right side as well. Second down, 8 yards to go. 40 seconds to play in the first quarter, and 7-7 ball game. Potts to pass, rolling. Looks in trouble. Out of containment. It's going to fire a pass. Almost intercepted by Oak Ridge. Almost picked off either by Bryce Davis or Izzy Mitchell. He was right there. And that you said something before the game started that sometimes when you flush him out of the pocket, he tries to force something. That one was almost picked off.
He just tends to do that. He's a great player, but he's a little bit of a gunslinger in terms of 2 or 3 times a game, he'll give you a chance to pick one off if you can make a play. That was one of them. Let's see if Oak Ridge maybe can take advantage on the next one.
Potts is going to be playing football at Tennessee Tech, I believe, as the Wildcats show blitz once again. Third down, 8 yards to go. Frent backs up. Potts to pass, fires a pass, almost intercepted, and there is some holding. There was some contact between the Wildcat receiver and the defensive back, and I believe we're going to have pass interference against the Wildcats.
Yeah, it was good defense. It's close. I mean, that's probably one of those that realistically could be called or could not be called, and unfortunately, playing on the road, a lot of times those are the calls that you're not able to get that maybe you would if you were at Blankenship. Tough break there, and it's going to set Powell up with the first set of downs when really Oak Ridge had him stopped.
They move the ball on the penalty yardage up to the 37-yard line where it'll be first down, 10 yards to go, 25 seconds to play in the first period here. This region ball game here from Powell High School. 7-7 the score. The Wildcats and Panthers, the only 2 undefeated teams in the region right now. 3 receivers to the right. 4 Potts once again. His running back goes in motion to his right. Here comes pressure pass. Is going to be caught right in the middle across the 40. A near tackle by the Wildcats. The Wildcats, Brian Kelly drops him along with Davis once again. There is a flag in the middle part of the field. Clock is stopped with 12 seconds. Nope, not a flag. It was just some kind of a shoe.
Yellow cleat.
A yellow cleat. It'll be a 5-yard gain for them, and that is the final play of the first quarter. We played 1 quarter complete here at Powell High School. 7-7 our score. We'll be back with the second period in 60 seconds.
All week, the students have been competing in different classroom competitions from decoration, memory, and cancer drive for second home. We finished the week with the parade and the touchdown. The results are in. Third place, the junior class.
Necessary.
Second place, the sophomore class. And the winner of the Spirit State for 2022 is the senior class. Congratulations.
Could be an old man.
We stay nice.
Welcome back to Powell High School. Oak Ridge and Powell tied up 7-7, and it's a homecoming for the Panthers. And David, they just announced the Most Spirited Class Award. Has there ever been a Most Spirited Award on homecoming night that hasn't gone to the seniors? So that's a layup.
You're exactly right. Second down 5, handoff to the running back. He's hit and dropped after a gain of about 2. Maybe we'll call it third down and about 5 yards to go for the Powell Panthers. 7-7 our score. 11:48 to play in the first quarter. As Alex said earlier, just a beautiful night here. The Wildcats lead this all-time series 7-4. Last year, the last 2 games have been played at Blankenship Field. Third down 3, the Wildcats wearing their all-white jerseys here. Third down, we'll call it a long 3 to go. Play clock is down to 16 seconds. Potts once again comes over to the sideline, has the new play down to 10 seconds. Third down, then about 5 yards to go. A little less than that, about 3.5 yards to go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Here's the snap. It's low. Pass is caught. And up the field at the 45 to the 50. And then up to the 40-yard line. And there is going to be holding against the Powell Panthers. Good call by the official.
Yeah, it was a very good call. I thought they were going to call it. Price Davis was out there, had a chance to make the stop before the first down. And I mean, Price, smart play by him. Once he realized he wasn't going to make a tackle, he kind of turned and threw his arms up and show, hey, I can't get off this block. And it was absolutely the right call by Powell. And actually, I'll give Powell fans credit below us. Not a lot of arguing on that one. I think everybody kind of agrees, hey, that's the right call.
I give them credit for not arguing, but this air horn and this cowbell here, that's kind of loud, don't you think? Alec, are you afraid he's going to turn around? Because you're kind of cringing when I say that.
Well, I just know as a young listener in the mid 2000s,
Riverdale, right? Riverdale High School.
Not to name drop, but I think that your crew has been involved in a couple of close calls. So, I'm a lover, not a fighter, David. I'm too skinny to be getting into any brouhahas at this point in my life.
It's now third down, 6 yards to go. Here comes the quarterback rolling, wanting to pass in a lot of trouble. He is sacked at the 35-yard line. The Wildcats, Waters comes in strong. The Wildcats drop him, and it'll be fourth down, and they'll be forced to punt. Wildcats will send Brandon Hayward back to receive the punt. 7-7 our score. 10 minutes, 23 seconds to play here in this first half from Powell High School. Next week, the Wildcats home against the Greenville Green Devils.
Elijah Bradley on there with Waters as well, making that stop. And again, you see Potts, when he gets pressure, he just sort of falls down. He's smart enough not to take those hits.
Here comes a low line drive punt. It's going to take a good Powell bounce. It's going to roll inside the 20 and continue to roll all the way to the 10-yard line and down at the 9. And that is where Oak Ridge will take over. First down, 10 yards to go.
It's a tough play. And usually, I would complain right there and say, your return man, which was Hayward, you got to come up and try to save your team some hidden yardage right there and catch that. But it actually, I don't blame him for not, because it was so low and it was rotating in the air so
didn't get the first down. They still got very positive yardage.
7-7 our score, 8-11 to play here in the first half. The Wildcats and Panthers tied at 7. Powell, the defending state champions. The Wildcats of Oak Ridge trying to win their third region ball game. Both teams are 2-0 in the region. Fourth down facing the Wildcats. Ethan the pass. Oh, he's going to run. Now fires the pass. It's incomplete. Intended to pass for Connor Cummings. It's incomplete, and they will take over on downs.
Now, credit to Powell defense that time, David. They were putting an awful lot of pressure on guards that time, and he really had to force that ball in there, and it just fell short. And the Wildcats are going to have to turn it over on downs. But, they got pretty long field position. They're on the Oak Ridge 34, so that's a pretty good job. I wish they could have executed and got that first down, but Powell's going to take over on down.
8 minutes, 6 seconds to play in the first half. Here come the Panthers once again. 2 receivers split to the right. 7-7 our score, live from Powell High School on FM 92.7. Jordan Potts, the quarterback, got injured in the first ball game of the year. Got a little shoulder banged up, but he's been excellent since that time. First down, 10 yards to go. He's got the snap. He fires a pass across the way. Incomplete. Off the fingertips of the intended receiver. It'll be second down, 10 yards to go for Powell.
Good job defense that time by Grayson Hope for the Wildcats, David. He was really putting the pressure on him, and it falls harmlessly incomplete. Brings up now second down and 10.
Ball is at the 34-yard line of Powell. They're moving left to right here in the second quarter in a 7-7 ball game. 3 receivers split to the right. Lone man to the left. Second down, 10 yards to go. Good snap, pressure, pass, caught, boom, big stick right at the 38-yard line. The Wildcats with a big hit. It'll be third down facing the Powell Panthers.
Oh, man, he was right there on him. What a great job by Jaden Williams for the Wildcats. Put the stop on him now. Brings up third and long for the Panthers.
Jaden Williams getting his first start of the year. He's been out with a serious injury, to be honest with you, that he got in the Anderson County scrimmage up at Carson Newman, his first playing time, and he gets a big hit. Third down long. Third down 6 for Potts and the Panthers. The ball at the 36-yard line. Here comes the snap. Pass is caught. Wildcats make a huge play. They come in strong, and it'll be a loss on the play. The Wildcats get a stop here, and the Panthers will send their punt team into the ball game.
Price Davis was all over that, David. The ball no more got to the running back. Price hit him right in the legs and dropped him for a loss. Now they're going to have to punt, and the Wildcats are going to get this ball back.
Fourth down, 12 yards to go. The Wildcat defense with a good stop here. 6:52 to play here in the first half in a 7-7 ball game here from Powell High School. They'll be punting from back at around the 18-yard line. Here's the punt. It's high. A very nice spiraling kick. It's going to take another good Powell bounce. Hopefully go into the end zone. It is not. It's going to roll dead again at the 2-yard line. That's the second time they've had a punt. We got to respect their punter a little bit more because he has boomed 2 big, long punts there. That one, the bounce almost got to the end zone. But once again, great field position for the Panther defense. Clock is down to 15 seconds to play. The Wildcats will come to the line. First down, 10 yards to go. Officially, the ball will be at the 3-yard line. Play clock down is to 9. Garza at quarterback. Play clock down to 6. He's under center, and he's going to hand it off. Nope, they're going to stop play here. Not exactly sure why play is stopped, and it's going to be offsides against the Powell Panthers.
Yeah,
that'll be a 5-yard step off against them. That helps us greatly.
Yes, it does. Anytime you're back on the goal line like that and you get a 5-yard penalty, you get your back right off the goal line, that's a big deal right there. They lined up offside. I can't believe that.
First down, 5 yards to go for the Wildcats. The Wildcats have Brandon Hayward split out to the left side. The Wildcats with a tight formation. Ethan Garza at quarterback. quarterback, his first start. He's going to hand it off to the back, and he's buried right at the 7-yard line. I think the best thing to do would be spread them out just a little bit and kind of get some more gaps for them. It'll be for the Wildcats now, second down, and we'll call it 5 yards to go.
That Stephen Souls is one of the best tacklers I have seen in years. I've watched him in the Powell this year, and he is a great tackler.
Second down, 5 yards to go for the Wildcats. 6 minutes to play in the first half in a 7-7 ball game. The Wildcats desperately need a first down here. Kind of get out of this bad field position here. Wildcats with a backfield split for Ethan Garza. He's going to drop back to pass. Has time. Goes deep. Pass to Brandon Hayward. He makes the catch, baby! At the 35-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 Wildcats.
What a great adjustment he made on that ball, David. He was backpedaling and then stopped and came forward and caught that pass and then turned around and got back upfield again. Just a tremendous job by Brandon Hayward of catching that ball at all.
Ball's at the 39-yard line. The Wildcats moving right to left. First down, 10 yards to go in a 7-7 ball game here from Powell High School. Jaden Williams split out to the left side. Jai Hunley is a receiver to the left as well. The Wildcats have Dozier in the backfield. They've got a slot on the right side. Brian Kelly. One single man to the right. Handoff goes left side up the middle. Moving the ball, that is Javis Dozier across the 45-yard line up to the 47-yard line. That's a gain of about 8 yards for the Wildcats. It'll be second down and 2 yards to go.
Boy, our running backs are looking strong. The line's doing a great job up front of opening those holes and giving DeJarvis Joe Dozier a chance to get positive yardage. Brings up now second down for the Wildcats, tied up 7-7 here in the second quarter.
Good job there, Mike Sheehan. Appreciate your help here. The Wildcats, second down. We'll call it 3 yards to go. Ball's at the 46-yard line. Here comes the handoff to Brandon Hayward. Great. He tries to get outside, and there's going to be a hold, I believe. It'll be a penalty flag down on the play. 4:34 to play. The Wildcats tried to come to the near sideline. Just there was nothing there at all, and the Wildcats, I think, will be penalized here.
Yeah, it's going to be a holding because there wasn't a block in the back, but I don't see it. You probably heard the coaching staff in the background upset, and I understand it on that. There wasn't a lot there, and I don't know. I don't like that call. I don't like it at all.
They're talking about it is going to be holding against the Wildcats. And it'll be for the Wildcats after they step the penalty yardage. But I don't know if you saw the play that got them out of the hole. Just a beautifully thrown pass and a nice catch by Brandon Hayward.
Really good adjustment last second. It was almost back shoulder. And Hayward, as he was sort of backpedaling, waiting on that ball to get there, he sort of had to lean to his left and almost caught it falling down. It was a really athletic play for him to make that adjustment.
Ball's at the 32-yard line where it'll be for the Wildcats. Second down and long. They need to get up to the 49 for a first down. Ethan Garza at quarterback. Dozier comes in motion. He's going to swing it out of the backfield to Dozier, and he is popped in the backfield. I think they saw that coming big time, and the collision has actually hurt the Powell Panther defender, and I think he's going to have to come out of the ballgame. I think they've seen that happen, and he defended that well.
Yeah, it was Jonte Dunn who's made a couple of nice plays defensively for the Panthers early on in this ball game, made another one right there, and to be honest with you, that's a dangerous pass because it really could have set Dozier up with the defensive linebacker, knowing what was coming, could have set him up, and it was almost an even bigger collision.
Gain of, no gain, loss on the play. It'll be third down, 22 yards to go, 3 minutes, 54 seconds to play in the first half. The Wildcats need to get to the 49 for a first down. They just need to get a little bit more room for Brennan. Ethan Garza, the pass across the way, pass is a little bit behind the intended receiver. But I tell you, one thing I like about the way Garza throws the ball, he throws a dart when he throws the ball. That one a little bit behind Alani, and it'll be fourth down. The Wildcats will be forced to punt.
He throws a pretty heavy football. There's a lot of it's a pretty good spiral, and he just it's mustard on it, if you will. Tough play right there. It really, you just go back to that unfortunate holding penalty that is really what ended that drive to me.
They got a lot of pressure on Brennan the last time he punted. Let's see what he can do here. Low snap, pressure again. He gets this one up. Another high kick. It's going to be almost hitting a Powell player. It's going to take a bounce, but not a great bounce. It's going to be down at the 49-yard line, so that is where they'll take it. So pressure came in really, really strong. He got it high. They weren't going to return it, but he didn't get the length that he normally gets. It'll be Powell with great field position, the ball in Oak Ridge territory at the 49-yard line.
Brennan's pretty consistent getting a spiral on his kicks, and that one was end over end, which makes me think, I think somebody, not a lot, but I think they got a fingertip on that one or something, David. Put that combined with the wind blowing left to right in his face, and that once it got tipped, that ball, even though it whipped high in the air, really didn't have a chance to go very far.
The Wildcats have had a couple good stops on defense the last two series. They need one here.
Turnover would be nice, wouldn't it?
Ball at the 49-yard line. Potts, once again, will come up a slot to his left, a single man to his right and to his left, one lone running back. First down, 10 yards to go. Handoff goes to the back, and he's going to be hitting the backfield and will be caught behind the line of scrimmage. They'll be dropping him back at the 50-yard line. It'll be for them second down and 11 yards to go. 3:20 and counting here in this first half in a 7-7 ball game. The ball is back on the other side of the 50. It'll be second down, the long 11 to go.
We talk a lot about, and deservedly so, Brian Kelly gets a lot of credit for what he does on the defensive side of the football, the leading tackler for the Wildcats, but I'm going to give credit to the other linebacker stepping in for Blake Steed, etc. The other guys out there besides Brian Kelly have had a really nice start to this game. They're everywhere.
Third down, 11 yards to go. Once again, Jordan Potts at quarterback. 7-7 our score. Late here in the first half. Lots of time. Potts to pass. Pass is there. He's shoved. That should be offensive pass interference, but it's going to be incomplete either way. It'll be third down facing the Panthers. Third down, 11 yards to go. He's shoved. I think Jaden Williams in the back
and
there.
I was going to say, that's a great sight and a great sound to see and hear Jaden Williams' name announced here, as he's been another guy who's been dinged up and hurt all year, finally able to
against that Anderson County scrimmage.
And finally able to play. And let me tell you, if you're running a go route, you got to outrun the defender, and there's not many guys going to be able to outrun Jaden Williams.
Third down, 11 yards to go for the Panthers. The ball right at the 50-yard line. 7-7 the score, 2:43 to play in the first half. Here from Powell High School. Beautiful night for football. Potts to pass. Fires a pass out in the flats. It's going to be caught and pushed out of bounds at around the 43-yard line. It'll be fourth down and about 3 yards to go.
Probably going to go for it and say it till actually Oak Ridge got a good spot. I think he ran out of bounds a little bit sooner than we thought he did. Powell going to go for this.
Make a call.
Oak Ridge has got to get up on these defenders right here in this short yardage situation.
Wildcats. It'll be Powell trying to get Oak Ridge to jump off sides. They did not do that. Coach Lowe's going to call a timeout. 2:36 to play here in the first half. 7-7 our score. We'll take a quick timeout. Send it back to Brian Bennett at the station. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Giving up 7 every time.
High school cheerleader.
I agree.
Senior Lana Bell. Doctor. Olivia Knowles.
He thinks I'm at Clinton.
Snyder. Garrett West. Junior. Hannah Simmons. Sophomore. Addison Arnold. Araya Browning. Kennedy Bird. Ariana Dolly. Kelly Watley.
David Clary back here along with Alex Myers. Mike Sheehan's up here. Mark and Shauna Haste. Wildcats in a 7-7 ball game, and what has been kind of an unusual game. I thought it might be a little bit more high scoring than this, but the Wildcat defense has been solid after that first drive, which was really just a long touchdown run and some missed tackling by the Wildcats. The Panthers really haven't been able to drive against the Wildcats. Oak Ridge has had bad field position their last two drives, but they then were able to score on about a 60-yard drive for their only score. We'll have the complete scoring summary at halftime. Fourth down, we'll call it a long 4 to go for a first. The ball is at the 43-yard line. Jordan Potts with 2:36 to play in the first half. Here's the snap, back to pass. In trouble, there's some holding. Potts running for his life. He is going to be knocked out of bounds, and he's going to be short of a first down, and the Wildcats will take over. The ball's at the 40-yard line. They needed to get to the 39. It'll be Oak Ridge football. First down, 10 yards to go.
And I don't think Potts is happy. Powell thought he got hit late, and he didn't. You've got to go after the quarterback if he's diving for the first down. If they marked it correctly, it's a solid, almost nearly a yard short. And that's exactly what it is. As with 2:29 to go, David, what direction do they point?
First down, Oak Ridge Wildcats as they'll take over right at the 40-yard line. 2 minutes, 29 seconds to play in the first half, so the Wildcats defense is making big-time stops in this one. The Wildcat offense, and Oak Ridge, you got to remember that we'll get the ball first in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, this is, it's setting up how we talked about it earlier in the day, Dave. You and I were texting back and forth about what's Oak Ridge's recipe to try to come out of here with a win, and I think both of us agreed, run the ball well, have time-consuming drives, and make timely stops. And Oak Ridge, if you're baking a cake right now, the recipe is perfect. Now you just got to maybe try to get a couple points here before the break.
Play clock is under 10 right now. The Wildcats huddled on the other sideline. We're down to 6 seconds. Up to the line will come Oak Ridge. First down, 10 yards to go. Garza with 3 on the clock is going to hand it straight up the middle to Dozier. Dozier moves the ball forward for about a yard. Not much more than that. Didn't have a good block there on the left side. And the Wildcats, it'll be second down, 9 yards to go. 2 minutes, 18 seconds to play in the first half in a 7-7 ball game.
And it's a point where you always have to remember not only the time, but your opponent. And this is not a team, even if you got a minute left, you want to punt it back to. So Oak Ridge, you want to be cognizant and aware of that clock, and you want to try to get points. But, if you're in a third down and long situation, if you don't get anything on this play, you got to start thinking, well, we don't want to give the ball back to Powell with a lot of time. So Oak Ridge, I think very wisely, letting this play clock get low again.
Second down, 9 yards to go. The ball is at the Wildcat 41-yard line. Play clock down to 4. Garza back to pass. Has time, goes deep. Pass is open. It's incomplete. Receiver needed to come towards the ball that it was coming towards him. It was almost picked off there. It'll be third down and 9 yards to go.
Yeah, the cornerback, it was Aiden Williams against the freshman. Or Aiden Green, the star wideout for Powell. He just broke off that route, saw it was underthrown, and almost got it. And both sides oohing and awing, thinking, hey, Oak Ridge thought they almost had a touchdown if that was better thrown. Powell thinks they should have had an interception.
Into the ball game at tight end will come Tyler Pickens. The Wildcats, we're down to 10 seconds. The Wildcats don't have the right personnel in. Down to 7 seconds. It'll be third down, 9 yards to go. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. He gets the play off. Garza hands it off to Dozier. Dozier moves forward. He'll be short of a first down by about 2 yards. Minute 33 to play. The Wildcats just rush around to get the play off here, and then they're going to be short by it'll be fourth down at about 3.
I think they were subbing in and out personnel that time. I think they're just flipping the formation around, and like you said, just it's just like everything's just strained to get the play off, and it's concerning and it's frustrating, but it didn't hurt you that time really, because you're trying to run this clock down. You don't want to give Powell the ball with any time left, and 8 seconds on the play clock now as the clock hits 1:02 to go in the half.
They have come very close to blocking Brennan Pearson's punts here. Let's see what they can do on this one. We're under a minute to play. Fourth down, 4 yards to go. And they're going to get another delay of game. Wildcats.
There's no urgency, David. There's no urgency.
And it's going to be 5-yard step off against the Wildcats. This happens continuously. It'll be a 5-yard step off. That'll give them better field position. We're down to 51 seconds to play. The ball is at the 42-yard line. Pearson will punt for the Wildcats. The blocking back there is Brian Kelly. Snap is good. Here comes the pressure again. He gets it off. It's a wobbly, spiraling kick. It's going to go inside the 20, take a bounce for Powell, and nicely down by the Wildcats right at the 20-yard line. It'll be first down, 10 yards to go for the Panthers. 43 seconds to play in the first half in a 7-7 ball game.
And I'm trying to see the scoreboard, how many timeouts Powell has left. They're not mentioning. I don't know if they took 1 or 2. So you got to be careful. You'd love to see Powell just hand it off a time or 2 or take a knee and take this one a half, knowing you get the ball first in the second. But you always have to be aware. I would not be surprised, knowing Coach Lowe, knowing this Powell unit, if they would not be aggressive right here. That's something they tend to do.
On the 20-yard line, first down, 10 yards to go. 43 seconds to play here in the first half. 7-7 the score. Jordan Potts, a quarterback, the senior quarterback, a state championship a year ago. Fires one across the way. Intercepted almost by Oak Ridge. The Wildcats almost picked that off. Great anticipation there by the Wildcats.
That's the second one. We talked about he's going to give you a few chances, and Oak Ridge has not taken advantage and gotten an interception yet. But, boy, that would have been a perfect time for one. If they would have had the ball with a few seconds left to try to get a few points. Regardless,
Oh, no.
37 seconds now after that play took 9 seconds.
37 seconds to play in the first half. Second down, 10 yards to go. The ball is at the 20-yard line. Jordan Potts, quarterback for the Powell Panthers. They're moving left to right here. He's going to hand it to the running back, and he's going to find running room, and he's going to move the ball close to a first down, has a first down, breaks the tackle, and moves the ball to the 31. It'll be third down and about a yard to go. Elijah Bradley, Brian Kelly, they're on the stop.
And coaches from Powell urging them to get up. They want to try to see if they can know. They called it a first down, so Powell, the clock should have stopped. It never stopped, and that's an Oak Ridge. Oak Ridge will take that break.
19 seconds to play. Clock is moving. Here comes a pass to the sideline. Pass is caught. It'll be a gain up to around the 40-yard line.
Powell, I would be highly upset if I was Powell right now because they just lost about 7 or 8 seconds there. The clock should have stopped when they respotted it for the first down and everybody was rushing around. The clock never stopped. But hey, for Oak Ridge, I'll take it.
Second down, 3 yards to go. We've got exactly 14 seconds to play in the first half in a 7-7 ball game. Both teams undefeated in the region. 2-0 records. Wildcats 7, Powell 7 here. Second down and 3 yards to go. Potts is going to hand it to the running back again. He's in the secondary. The Wildcats' Brandon Hayward needs to make the catch. He's on the sideline coming down the field, and they're going to finally get him down. Once again, they break tackles. There's 3 seconds to go in the 3 seconds to go in the first half.
And Powell gets a timeout off. He was in bounds, but Powell, at 3 seconds, you might as well use your timeout. So we got one more play, and it'll be interesting to see. I don't think Powell's going to go for the field goal here, not because of aggression, but because of what I've seen from their place kicker on kickoffs. I don't think that you'd trust the guy to kick a field goal from 35 yards out.
Kind of impressed with their running back there. He broke several tackles. The Wildcats had some missed tackles there, but they haven't really kind of embraced the run the last few years. They've been balls at the 20-yard line. 3 seconds to play first half. 7-7 the score. And they are going to attempt a field goal here. I'm kind of surprised myself, as they'll put the block down right at around the 27-yard line, making this a 37-yard kick. Stooksbury to attempt what it would be a 37-yard field goal here to try to break the tie. Here's the snap. It's high. The kick will not get away. Play is halted, and it'll be offsides against the Wildcats. So that helps them out with a 5-yard penalty.
I was going to say Hayward nearly – if they wouldn't have stopped it, I think he had a shot to block that, but maybe that's why.
Right. So 5-yard step off, making it a little easier for Stooksbury here. 7-7 our score. On the scoreboard, there's 1 second left on the clock here. Ball is now, the block's going to be put down at the 22-yard line, making this a 32-yard kick from the right hash here. 7-7 our score. Here's the snap. It's high. The kick is on its way. It's up, and it is good. And Powell leads Oak Ridge by a score of 10-7 as we close out the first half. So kind of a missed tackle. A really nice run by the Powell running back. I'll give him credit for that. But the Powell Panthers have the lead 10-7.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. Oak Ridge, with so many missed opportunities at the end, they had a drive stall out. They had an interception in their hands that would have stopped that last Powell drive. They dropped that one, and then a couple of missed tackles prevent Oak Ridge from getting out of here without Powell scoring again. Instead, Oak Ridge goes into the half trailing. But all in all, you take these two teams and you say with a new face at quarterback, on the road, in this environment, you're down by 3 at half with getting the ball back first. I think most Oak Ridge fans would say, hey, we'll take our shot at that.
I think Ethan's played well at quarterback. I think he's looked very, very solid.
He has, and he's only really made one really bad throw, and it's unfortunate that it was towards the end of that last drive. It was almost interception. If he makes a better throw, Presley has a huge gain, if not a touchdown. But, hey, making one bad throw, and it wasn't really a mistake. It wasn't a turnover. He hasn't held the ball too long and taken sacks. Like you said, put in a tough position out here tonight, but he's played about as well as you could have asked him to.
He also has a new center too. I mean, there's a new center and a new quarterback out there, so it's kind of a difficult situation for the junior. But I think he's done well in the first half. We've got a 3-point game, 10-7 our score. So as I mentioned, Alex, both teams are undefeated in the region. The Wildcats have victories over Clinton and Lenoir City. The Panthers have victories in the region over Clinton and the Carnes Beavers. So Clinton really stands at 0-3 in the region right now. I think Lenoir City, they'll be playing tonight. They were 0-2, so they're in dead last place in the region right now, and that kind of surprises a lot of people, I guess.
It does, but this region, you look at the set of teams, and there are certain teams that have sort of drug the bottom a little bit more than others, and certain teams you would expect to be more on top. But as a group, this has gotten better. I mean, a few years ago, Clinton was a cakewalk, right? Clinton almost beat Oak Ridge. Clinton almost beat I about said Jacksboro. Campbell County, thank you, Mike, last night. I mean, even the teams like a Clinton that is 0-3 in region play, I mean, they could very, very easily be 2-1. I mean, this is a very highly competitive region that Oak Ridge is in, and certainly with a chance to get sole possession of first place, either one of these teams tonight walk out of here with a victory, they set themselves up for a really good shot.
One thing I'm going to say, though, Alex, Jai Henley didn't play. Elijah Rogers didn't play in that Clinton ball game. Remember that, too. So we were missing some really, really fine players and still won the ball game. That's all I want to say. You have nothing to say to that?
Death and taxes, David. Death and taxes.
10-7 is our score. The Wildcats of Oak Ridge. The Wildcats of Oak Ridge are trailing. We're at halftime. Mike Sheehan's going to have the scoring summary in a bit. We'll have statistics in a bit as well, hopefully. Our score here at halftime is homecoming here at Powell. 10-7 Powell. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
Her tonight is her father, Chris Grove. Representing the Powell High School boys tennis team is Regan
Oh,
Jones.
thank you, David.
Carla Jones. Her school tonight is her father, Mark Jones.
So, hey, so are we on now? We're good.
Y'all are.
So do you have part of the
Representing
stats
the
or
Powell
no?
High School Special Olympics Department is Darren Jesselman,
Assume no, unless he
son of Donnie and Kim Darrell. His escort tonight is Lorena Browning.
Just doing that. I was trying to do that one. Okay.
Representing the Powell High School girls soccer team is Anna Kirsch, of Stephen and Wendy Kirsch. Her escort tonight is her father, Stephen Kirsch. Representing the Powell High School boys basketball team is Olivia Mahoney, daughter of Ken and Tara Powell. Her escort tonight is her father, Ken Powell.
Let's let Lane do some sort of start, and then stop.
Representing the Powell High School dance team is Kylie McLemore,
What are we doing?
daughter of Kelly McLemore. Her escort tonight is Kirby McLemore.
Got it. Look at Bo.
Representing the Powell High School baseball team is Olivia Nolan, daughter of Brent and Jamie Nolan. Her escort tonight is her father, Brent Nolan. Representing the Powell High School senior class is Kendall Phillips. She is the daughter of Mr. Tim Wade Phillips and Jenny Phillips. Her escort tonight is her father, Mr. Tim Wade Phillips. Representing the Powell High School golf team is Carly Piper, daughter of Amy and Matt Ivy, and Jim and Amanda Piper. Her escort tonight is her father, Jim Piper. Representing the Powell High School choral department is Ray Ann Rupert, daughter of Chris and Dennis Rupert. Her escort tonight is her father, Chris Rupert. Representing the Powell High School Band Department is Jenna Schaefer, daughter of Carrie Schaefer. Her escort tonight is Ellen Buffano.
We're back to Powell High School. Alex Myers up here joining me to my right now. Lee, who's going to give us
Representing the
some
Powell High
scores of
School boys
interest,
soccer
which
team
there are many.
is Hope Taylor.
Region 3 ball game going on at Lenore City, and a few seconds left in the second quarter. Carnes leading Lenore City 22-15, and then last night another big Region 3 ball game televised. Campbell County getting the win in overtime, and I'm sure David.
Representing the Powell High School
Wild game
Hostel
up
Club
in Campbell
is
County.
Isabel Warren.
A few other scores I'm going to go over.
Kyle and Jennifer Warren. Her escort tonight is her father, Kyle Warren.
14-7 at the half. Only 7 points in the first half down to Cleveland. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Anderson County all over Carter, 35-0. Bradley Central Bearden tied at 7 at the half. And then another score.
Representing the Powell High School girls tennis team
Big game.
is Caitlin Wilson.
Oak Ridge will travel to Dobbins later in the season. Dobbins leading that one.
Her escort
20-3.
tonight
So just a
is
few
Tyler
scores there.
Covers.
Leading Lenore City and Campbell County getting the win on the Region 3 scores that you've been paying attention to, Alex.
Thank you very much, Lee. And just like that, I will bring in the incomparable, the great Mike Sheehan, who has now have our rundown. Thanks again, Lee, for those scores of interest. Mike, Maryville, before you start that, Maryville down 14-7 at half to Cleveland. That's a shocker.
Yeah, it is. That'll be an upset if they get beat by Cleveland. Maryville's got a great team, but not as good as they have been in times past. The Wildcats playing really tough here tonight against Powell. To start things off, the Powell Panthers, Connor Wheeler ran a 53-yarder up the field at the right side of the field for 6. Put the Panthers in the lead early with 4:52 left in the first quarter. Then Dylan Stooksbury for the Panthers came in and kicked the ball between the uprights, and the Panthers led 7-0. But the Wildcats got the ball back and drove it just about the full length of the field, got down to the 11-yard line where Jai Hunley ran a very determined effort into the end zone, put the Wildcats on the board 6-7. Then David Wilson for the Wildcats came up and kicked the ball between the uprights, and this game was tied 7-7 with 1minute and 15 seconds left in the first quarter. And then a long scoreless dry spell for both teams. Tremendous defensive battle. You know, lots of penalties that put Oak Ridge in a jam again. The Wildcats held on, though, and with 1 second left in the first half, Dylan Stooksbury kicked a 32-yard field goal to put the Powell Panthers up at halftime, 10-7 here at homecoming for the Powell Panthers for tonight. I want to give a quick shout-out to my brother Randy and Zach in New Orleans, Jerry, Trish, and Chip in Chattanooga, Ed Hickman and Mike Hicks in Clinton, and Dean and Becky Bryan in St. Augustine, Florida. Wish you all the best, and thank you for listening in.
Thank you very much, Mike. We are still in the homecoming process. of somewhere around 25. We've got a small army of homecoming candidates out here tonight. We've got 11 minutes on the who's doing absolutely nothing.
You all are not having a 10-year reunion?
Let me tell you, I'm not organized enough to do it. Whoever was supposed to do it's not doing it.
Who was your class president in 2012?
Somebody with the IQ 10 times mine, David.
Well, we're here at halftime here. We appreciate you listening to our broadcast. Next week, the Wildcats return to Blankenship Field to take on Greenville. So another powerhouse team the Wildcats will be facing. And then 2 weeks from yesterday, the Wildcats will be taking on the Cards Beavers. And that will be, believe it or not, the final regular season home game for Wildcats. The Wildcats will close it out at Campbell County and Dobbins-Bennett.
It's crazy how fast time flies, and you just blink, and all of a sudden it was a bye week, and now we blink again, and we're just about done with the home schedule, as you mentioned. And but the home schedule that's left, boy, is it a good one. A couple of games and teams and matchups that this community has been looking forward to really since the schedule came out last year.
Mark's not going to have his stats here at halftime here. Hopefully we'll have something at the end of the ball game. We had to use Mark's expertise, technical work, and he kind of got away from the stats as well as, as he had to do the other stuff that we needed him to do.
And I don't know if I'm allowed to do this, David, but I'll just say, if you're listening and watching on YouTube and you're having troubles, to my knowledge, knock on wood here, the radio and the prep radio stream, the audio is fine. So if you're finding it hard and you're getting buffering and having some issues there, and you don't want to miss out on the action, even though you won't have video, you can still listen to the audio. And I think that to this point, that has been okay.
Let's take our final timeout here before the second half. Well, actually, I think it's going to be the final timeout. You have your pet peeve that you like to talk about.
Well, you know what? I'll give Powell this. As long as that halftime was, the band is exiting the field with 3:35 left. Oak Ridge and Powell, neither team is out, though, so we might be able to carry on the long-standing tradition of never completing a halftime within the halftime time limit.
Halftime score 10-7 Powell. We'll take a break. We'll be back with the second half. The Wildcats will be receiving the second half kickoff. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
3 minutes is a long time. I mean, because Vegas province. I'm hammered the other.
You tweet out the score. Mark says we're good again.
I'm thinking it. We never won.
Thanks for my section.
I saw Miss Betty's Gold's Gym. He said he Gold's Gym today.
Stand by.
Taking the speech time.
They're banging and playing for their hands. Come
They're playing the music and they're playing it at the same time. They put 3 more minutes on the clock. They put 3 more minutes. Welcome back once again to Powell High School, the Wildcats of Oak Ridge and the Powell Panthers in this big region ball game. It is 10-7 Powell with a last-second field goal to take the lead here. What's interesting here, the Powell band is playing down below here. Powell band is playing down below here, but they're also playing loud music on the PA system right now.
This is it's a spectacle. Halftime was a spectacle, and they're setting it up. They teed it off for me, David. I'll have to say it. You had a 20-minute halftime. The band, the halftime festivities, it was great. They were off the field with 3.5 minutes to go, and we still had 3 more minutes.
Let's talk about what Wildcats need to do in the second half. I thought the defense played superbly, with the exception of that first long touchdown run where they had some missed tackles that went forever, that touchdown. The Wildcat defense was really, really good. The offense showed signs of moving the ball. Field position there in the second quarter was just horrendous there for the Wildcats.
And this is not fair, but I'm going to say it. This is a game where your defense has to be a little bit better than your offense. And what I mean by that is I think Oak Ridge needs to steal a possession at some point during the second half because their offense isn't going to be able to carry the load, so to speak. The defense has played phenomenal football for the most part here in the first half. But in the second half, I'd really like to see Oak Ridge maybe steal a possession, get an interception, get a fumble, get a big sack, do something to sort of flip the field at the least, set your offense up so where they're not having to have these 70, 80-yard drives in order to get into scoring range. But yeah, just about a perfect half in almost every facet from the Oak Ridge defense. And boy, they came to play and they had to.
Yeah, the one thing they've done, they've kind of held Aiden Green down a little bit. The running game has been really potent for them at times. Potts, we've pressured him. We've made him, feel uncomfortable, which is something they have to do. And I've been impressed with the way
delivered a deep ball to Brandon Hayward. Our defense, they clearly don't want to give up the deep ball and deep routes. They're playing and sort of. I've been frustrated a couple times because they're almost just giving up 6-7 yards on those slants and on those hitches. But you got to give Oak Ridge credit because Powell. To me, if I was Powell, I would have gone back to those more, forced Oak Ridge to sort of suck up to this line of scrimmage, and then you do have that deep ball as an option. But Powell hasn't really done it. So if you're Oak Ridge, yeah, that's there. But if Powell's not going to consistently try to go after those short routes, well, and you're having success, why change it?
Watch the onside kick here. Coach Matt Lowe has been known to do trickery a little bit, and watch the onside kick here to try to steal the possession away from Oak Ridge.
If you're Coach Cummings, hopefully that's something that he has in the back of his mind. Coach Cummings, been a football coach a long time, been a head coach a long time, and been a successful head coach in the Knoxville area. He's very familiar with Coach Lowe, and I would say that if we know that, hopefully Coach Cummings does as well, and hopefully they got some good hands guys up there.
They don't have the good hands people up there. They've got their linemen up there on the front line, though, so hopefully he'll kick it deep down the field here. But it wouldn't surprise me if they did an onside kick right here.
And you almost don't have that much to lose because at best the guy's squibbing it usually 25, 35 yards downfield. So, if you lose 20 yards on that, but you're giving yourself a coin flip at an onside recovery, probably it's not the worst strategy in the world.
10-7 is our score. We're about to kick off the second half. The two teams undefeated in the region, the only two undefeated teams. Both teams at 2-0. Campbell County's got a couple of wins, but they have a loss. Carnes is 1-1 in the region into their ball game tonight against Lenoir City. Clinton, the only team yet to win a region ball, 0-3. Lenoir City 0-2.
Interesting, in case they do, they're not kicking off from the middle of the field. They're about 3 yards away from the hash on the near side, so there's a lot of room to the left if they were to try to onside it over there. Kicker's aimed like he's going to try to kick it right, though. Let's see what happens.
And here's his approach and the kick, and it is a pop-up kick, and it's going to go bounding out of bounds at the 35-yard line. That's going to be a penalty.
Doesn't matter.
Little pop-up kick. It's right where they would get it unless they make them kick it over again.
No, it's on the 35-yard line, which is where they would take over. And so with Oak Ridge, what they did in the first half was they made him re-kick it twice. And so I wouldn't be shocked to see Oak Ridge try to make him do it again, because obviously they're not going to be a surprise here if they try to onside this like there would have been.
And they've already backed him up, and they're going to get ready to kick, but we're huddling over on the right side. Are we making them kick, or are we taking on offense?
I think they're going to decline it. Oak Ridge has got their offensive unit out there, and their hands team's off the field, and I think finally Powell realizes they're going to get their kicking unit off the field. That, as good as Powell is, that's a huge glaring hole in their game right now, has been their special teams. But their punting has been good. The extra points and the field goal attempt was good. It's just the kickoffs. It's weird that they don't have somebody who could just go back there with some sort of athlete back there. But, hey, it is what it is.
I'm telling you, if you had watched that Campbell County-Clinton game last night, neither team could kick off at all. I mean, they were always going out of bounds, all of them. Just about every kick went out of bounds.
That's wild.
Here come the Wildcats back on offense here. Why don't you run down those offensive starters once again?
Yeah, left tackle Truett Tex, Elijah Israel, Parker Searle, Austin Hill, and Nick Lucas, the big fellas for the five up front. The wideouts, Brandon Hayward, Will Presley, and Izzy Mitchell. At running back, Almani Rembert, DeJavis Dozier, and quarterback, Ethan Garza. We talked about it. Garza didn't make mistakes in the first half, played pretty well. He doesn't have to be a hero, but at a certain point in the second half, you get the feeling he's going to have to make a play or two, and it'll be interesting to see his development as a junior, see if he can make that happen.
Be eager to find out what this long discussion is. I don't know if there's a clock issue or something, but the official over to talk with Coach Lowe once again. I'm not exactly sure what the issue is. He's pointing at something. I'm not sure. Eventually, we're going to have football for you here. We're on FM 92.7, FM 94.7, prepradio.com. We're streaming the game live using the Powell High School internet here, and that's, they say, has been a little bit shaky, and we apologize for that. We'll be back at home next week. We'll have a good stream for you in the Greenville ball game. Then the week from yesterday, 2 weeks from yesterday, Carnes. And now let's see. It looks like we're going to start. The ball's going to be at the 35-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go. Opening play of the second half. Offensively, the Wildcats will split out a receiver here to the left side. That'll be Rembert. Wildcats.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm just looking up the far side. They've got Aiden Green, their taller, better athlete at corner, on smaller Almani Rembert. I like the matchup if they can get a one-on-one situation up top with Brandon Hayward, and my goodness, there's another stoppage. What do we do? I mean, there's not anything to mess up right here, David. The ball's at the 35. The clock says 12 minutes. There's not a second been ticked off. Just go. Just play football.
First down, 10 yards to go for the Wildcats. The ball is at the 35-yard line of Oak Ridge. Ethan Garza, quarterback, hands it off to Dozier. Dozier outside 40, 45. First down and more. A 10-back of Oak Ridge. First down across midfield. Officially down at the 48-yard line of the Powell Panthers. What a run on the right side of the line.
Oak Ridge is found something with Dozier running up the middle. I know Hunley had his touchdown run and he broke it outside, but Dozier has had a lot of room to work with on several occasions up the middle. And boy, his feet are so choppy. He runs so quick that it doesn't take much room. If he gets a little gap, he can bust it for 20 or 30 yards.
Play is halted here. Let's see. We have an injured player. I think they're going to have to get him out of the ball game. Play is they're going to bring the trainer onto the field here, and he's going to have to come out for at least a play. He was in a lot of pain.
Yeah, J.J. Falcon, I give the guy a tip of the hat. He really tried to stay in there, but the officials are making him come out for a second. Don't know exactly what happened. Maybe just the wind taken out of him, but certainly Powell, we'll see if they miss him.
From the 49-yard line of Powell, first down, 10 yards to go. Once again, the Wildcats moving right to left here in the third period. Garza hands it off once again. Once again, a big hole. Once again, about 7 or 8 yards for the Wildcat junior running back, Jarvis Dozier, across the 45 down to around the 43-yard line. Back-to-back big-time runs here to start the game. Second half of the game.
So many great running backs through the years. Every couple of years, it seems like they get another one. And boy, you just get the feeling that Dozier is the next guy in that line. And, you know, if Oak Ridge didn't have so many capable running backs, I mean, this is a guy who would just be racking up the yards. He's doing it anyways, but now he's splitting carries when he's doing it.
Second down, 4 yards to go for the Wildcats. The ball at the 43-yard line. Jai Hunley gets the handoff. He cuts around the corner, has a 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down, is driven out of bounds, hit late out of bounds, and there's the flag. Finally came in from the farthest official. The guys closest to it called nothing. It'll be an extra 15 yards tacked on that first down run.
And then the Powell defender that hit the guy late is talking and jawing on the Oak Ridge sideline. And, you know, it's never smart to hit a guy late, but it's really not smart to do it in front of that guy's sideline because, you know, everybody over there is just going to make a big fuss. It's going to make it really hard for that official not to throw that flag. And,
10 minutes, 43 seconds to play here in the third quarter. It was a first down right at around the 38-yard line after the run. And personal foul is going to be called against the Powell Panthers.
And I thought it was Connor Wheeler, who's actually the running back, the talented running back for them.
10-7 is our score. Here comes the penalty yardage stepped off. It's going to be all the way inside the 25-yard line and out at the 23, down at the 23, where the Wildcats will have it first down, 10 yards to go, trying to get back into the ball game. They're down 10-7 here. The Wildcats will split out a receiver here to the far left. Wildcats up to the line. Hunley in a slot to the left. Single receiver to the right. Tight end is Kelly on the right side as well. They show him blitz. Here comes the guards of the pass. End zone pass there. Man there. Pass is incomplete. Good coverage there in the end zone. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Now, Oak Ridge stands wanted a penalty right there, but I'll give it to him. That was a really good defense. A tough play to make as a cornerback, being on an island deep against Brandon Hayward, and it was an excellent coverage. And I'll tell you what, it was a good play by Garza. He didn't underthrow it. He gave his guy a chance, and more times than not, Hayward's winning that 50-50 ball. I would not be surprised to see Oak Ridge take another shot at some point during this drive to Hayward.
They've been able to move the ball on the ground steadily, but a nice shot at the end zone there. It'll be 2nd down, 10 yards to go. Wildcats with a single receiver split out to the left. The Wildcats once again, Dozier, the running back. Ethan Garza, junior quarterback. It's going to be Dozier. Hit in the backfield, stumbles forward, and is able to get just perhaps maybe a yard or two. It'll be 3rd and long.
Yeah, he was just a shoestring tackle away from maybe threatening to get that first down, but nice shot by Powell. Powell finishing the play and not allowing him to get loose. And again, this is a situation, how much do you trust your kicker? You know, Oak Ridge might be in 4-down territory here. If so, that's going to change the way they play call. You need 9 yards to get the first down, but if you think you're going to try to go for it on 4th, maybe you only throw something or run something to try to get yourself in a more manageable situation. Maybe you don't need all 9 yards.
Well, I actually do trust both of our kickers, honestly, but I'd like a first down right here. It's 3rd down, 9 yards to go. Ball's at the 23-yard line. Low snap, Garza. Ball's on the ground. I'm not sure.
I think Oak Ridge caught a break. They called the play dead. That's a big break. That is a big break for Oak Ridge. They called the play dead.
Illegal procedure against the Wildcats, so it's a false start. And so that's going to be a 5-yard step off. Either way, Garza needs to jump on that ball regardless. See, the ball is on the ground. He needs to get on it regardless. And don't let the officials officiate, and you just go ahead and jump on it.
Yeah, he really got away with a potential mistake right there. And, you know, you're not in field goal range right now, so you're going to have to gain some yardage. Even if you
up for a first down, because he would have been able to run about 5 yards after that. Remember, couldn't hold on to it. It's 4th down now facing the Wildcats.
Some people are saying punt up here, David. I think you gotta go for this. I think. I mean, you can't punt them. I don't think you can punt the ball from your 36-7-yard line. I think you just gotta try to get it to it. You got enough playmakers in the game. Will Presley out there, Hayward. I think you got to go for it.
They are going to go for it. The play clock is down to 13 seconds and counting. 4th down and 15 yards to go. Down to 9 seconds on the play clock. Ethan Garza, 2 receivers to his left. Single running back. Play clock to 3, 2, 1. He gets the snap off. Back to pass. Fires it. Pass is going to be intercepted. off the fingertips of Brandon Hayward. And up the sideline they come. 40, and then the tackle is made by, I believe, Ethan Garza, 45-yard line. Ball went off the fingertips of Brandon Hayward right into the on-waiting hands of the Powell Panther defensive back.
Yeah, and it was a nice effort by Hayward to try to keep that ball alive. It was thrown behind him, so it was the best thing he could do just to try to, it was all he could do to just try to get one hand on that ball. But unfortunately, instead of it going down towards the ground, Hayward, when he tipped it, it went up in the air. And, you know, normally an interception on first and fourth down is not the worst thing if you're throwing downfield. The problem right there was that they was able to return it. Nice job by Garza not giving up on the play, and he actually ended up making the tackle.
Ball's at the 45-yard line. Once again, it'll be first down, 10 yards to go. Jordan Potts, their first possession here in the second half. They're going to hand it off to the running back, and he's going to gain about 2 on the play. It'll be second down and about 8 yards to go. The Wildcats had steadily moved the ball down the field running the football, and then when they got to the 23-yard line, they decided to pass it in.
Yeah, it's tough. You know, you don't want to be predictable, but at the same time, it's the old Steve Spurrier deal where, hey, if you're not going to stop it, just continue to run.
Second down, 8 yards to go for the Panthers. The ball at the 47-yard line. Jordan Potts, quarterback for the Powell Panthers. Receivers left and right for him. They're moving left to right here. Potts with a little pressure dumps it out. Pass incomplete. They'll try to dump it out to the guy in the backfield there. It's going to be third down, 7 yards to go.
Interesting play right here. Kind of a sneaky big play in this game. If Powell gets a few yards and is able to convert, all of a sudden, you know, they're sort of cooking with grease here. If Oak Ridge gets a stop, all of a sudden it's an extremely short drive. Powell's going to have to punt, and then their defense got, what, a minute and a half break of real time?
Thank you, sir.
They're down 8 yards to go. It's a long 7, really, for them. They need to get to the 45-yard line of Oak Ridge. The Wildcats back off the line of scrimmage. Jordan Potts going to run it himself. Cuts to the outside. Tries to get outside. He breaks tackles and moves the ball forward and picks up a first down. The heading, but he was able to use his legs to pick up a big first down for the Powell Panthers.
And that's sort of what you've been able to avoid all game, was him hurting you with your legs. And you know what, in a big moment, he's a guy who's smart. He doesn't take a lot of extra hits that are unnecessary. But on a big play, he knew what he needed to do, and it was use his legs.
From the 37-yard line of Oak Ridge, first down, 10 yards to go. 10-7 our score. The Wildcats trailing. Potts to pass. Pass is caught to a wide open man and breaks the tackle. Touchdown, Powell. Wildcats went for the hit, unless they say he went out of bounds. It is indeed a touchdown. That used to be. I stopped talking because there was no way in the world I could talk over that air horn. Touchdown. Missed tackle there by the Wildcats. Their 2 touchdowns have been on missed tackles.
Yeah, it's a Darius Redmond, and that's another guy. We talked about Green. He's a big-time athlete, too, and in space, he missed that tackle. There was no safety help. There was no chance that he was going to be able to get over there in time to stop it. Deshaun Knowles was rushing the passer and almost got a hand on that one. Just a game of inches, and that's the difference right there on that play.
Ball is down. The kick is on its way. It's up, and it is good. They lead Oak Ridge 17-7. So what a big turn of events. The Wildcats had it at the 23-yard line, had run it right down their throats up the field, and then the interception just a couple plays later. They're in the end zone.
It's just, it can turn on a dime, and you know, you had the momentum, and all of a sudden you look up, and you're in danger of potentially pressing here. If you're Oak Ridge with a quarterback that doesn't have a lot of experience, you might look up and go, wow, we're down 2 possessions. We're late in the third quarter. We got to go. But I think if you're Oak Ridge, you have to realize your running game has worked. You've got a unit that's blocked pretty well, and you still got a lot of football left to play. So I think the formula for Oak Ridge is to not panic, not try to get 10 points in one play. You can't do it. Just run the ball, try to move down the field like you were, and when this time, do what you haven't been able to do so many times in this game, which is finish the drive after you get it started.
What do you think about these lights that Knox County has put in all their football fields where they flash on and off? What do you think about that?
It's going to shock you, David. I've got to get off my lawn speech about. I mean, it's kind of cool. I mean, it was kind of cool the first time or two, but like, you know, and even in Neyland they do the thing, and I'm just kind of like,
who paid for it though?
I've flicker the lights on and off when I was a little kid. It's not that cool. I don't get I'm not enamored by it, but I know that a lot of people like it. So, hey, cool, I guess. It's not my deal though, but Hey, can I give a quick shout out? One of the Oak Ridge's more influential people and a lot of young Oak Ridge football players' lives. Mr. Hahn is listening back in Oak Ridge in the Secret City. He's got a little watch party there. They're watching along with us. We appreciate them watching, and happy birthday to some folks that are back there in that one. And but David, again, I think the key offensively is to not panic right here. You can't get 10 points in one play. Just put a steady drive together and lean on that run game.
Here comes the kick by Powell. It's going to be a high kick, end over end, all the way down to the 5, to the 10, to the 15, to the 20-yard line, and that is where Powell makes the stop. First down, 10 yards to go. Why haven't they been doing that the whole time?
I was going to ask, if you can kick the ball off the 5-yard line and your kick coverage looks pretty good, why on earth have they not been doing that all game?
Wildcat offense is on the field. It'll be first down, and it'll be 10 yards to go. The ball is at the 20-yard line. The Wildcats moving right to left now find themselves down 10. 17-7 is the score. Here comes the offense on the field once again. Wildcats have been able to move the ball on the ground. The Wildcats have been able to get yardage on the ground. And like you said, they don't need to panic here. A lot of time to be played in this one.
Oak Ridge has a lot of speed on the field right now. Jaden Williams coming back off of injury, probably the fastest player on the team. Him, Hayward, Presley, and then Dozier and Hunley in the backfield.
Here comes the handoff, this time to Jai. Not much there. Hardly anything at all. Might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage.
That's a couple times Oak Ridge has run that option where it's a triple option where you got a running back going up the middle with 2 backs in the backfield, and then the quarterback and another running back go outside. Both times they've handed it off up the middle. Both times you had a lot more room to run outside.
Second down, 10 yards to go. The ball's at the 20. Shout out to Thomas Cox listening to our broadcast here tonight. Receivers left and right for the Wildcats. Ethan Garza is a junior quarterback. His first start as quarterback for the Wildcats. He is a junior, as I mentioned. Hunley in the backfield. Second down, 10. Hand off, big running room for Dozier. Dozier has a 10-back of Oak Ridge first down across the 30 up to the 33-yard line.
I absolutely love watching him run the ball, David. He had a chance to try to dance a little bit about 8 yards into that carry, and instead he just puts his foot, didn't try to juke move too much and mess around. He just continues to always be working upfield. Even when he's trying to miss tacklers, he finds a way to stay north and south, and that got him a first down.
From the 32-yard line of the Wildcats, first and 10. As Alex Myers mentioned, 6:49 to play here in this third quarter. The Wildcats down 17-7. Is intercepted. No, it's incomplete. Pass intended for Jai Hunley. He threw it to a spot, but against the Wildcats.
It's going to make it, instead of a third and about 9, a second and 20. So, one good thing about that penalty is if you accept it, at least it didn't negate a really good play. I mean, it was all Jai could do. He put a great move on somebody back behind the line of scrimmage. It was all he could do just to get a yard on that play.
So the yardage is stepped off back to the 24-yard line where it'll be for the Wildcats second down and extremely long. 6 minutes, 29 seconds to play here in the third period. 17-7, the Wildcats trailing. Region ball game here at Powell High School next week back at Blankenship Field. The Wildcats taking on Greenville as the Wildcats have it. Second down, 18 yards to go. Guards at a pass, fires. Pass is going to be caught. Receiver is going to have to make a move, and he does up to the 30-yard line. Got about 6 yards at most. I think that's Connor Cummings out there on the reception. It'll be third and long for the Wildcats.
Third and about 11. And interesting right there, Powell going to have that taller Aiden Green covering him now.
Shout out to the Young Life trip heading to North Carolina, watching our YouTube broadcast on a bus or vehicles. Second and 12. Guards are in a lot of trouble. He is sacked. They brought everybody that time. I mean, they came in with everybody, and it'll be fourth down facing the Wildcats.
And there's a Powell player injured, and you never want to take a sack, but I think honestly, a pretty good decision in the heat of the moment right there by Garza just to fall down and not try to throw something up in desperation to heave it downfield because there wasn't anybody open really, and he didn't even have a chance to even think about what to do on that play. Powell was back there in the backfield so quick.
We've got a serious injury on the field here. Let's take a break here. The Wildcats down 17-7. We'll be back to Powell High School following this 3-minute timeout.
Hey, Robert, we got the gym to go over officer responsibility. Like, cool. That's right. So either way, so you can pull it. It could have been bigger, it could have been John Reed, either way. You know, what should have been
Great. Did you see what Thomas was? No. So if the camera's not on there, they have no idea why they're just looking out in space. Yeah. What's that? Yeah, he's in there.
So the problem is we didn't have a rush, right? Yeah, or did we? No. I mean a rush in, so we can find out who's responsible for that and who's got quarterback. Oh. He should have. Well, I mean, if my guy was rushing, he's supposed to have a quarterback.
Who is it, Mike?
I know.
34,
I got to talk.
Austin.
Welcome back once again to Powell High School. The injured Powell player being attended to. It's very quiet, obviously, here. It's a serious injury. They've got the gurney out on the field, and you never like to see that. It's just absolutely terrible. These kids, you know, they spend so much time getting ready to play this season. They put everything into it, and then you know, to get injured like this. Of course, injuries have been a big problem. I don't know if problem's the right word. It's been a really bad for the Wildcats this year. Just this last ball game, obviously Blake Steed lost to a torn ACL. This week we had Peyton Sharp, our quarterback, to an injury. Wildcats just recently, obviously today, Jaden Williams back and Connor Cummings back. But you know that we lost our center to a concussion too, so we gained 2 and lost 3. We still have Elijah Rogers. But the good news about that, I watched practice several times this week. Elijah practiced all week with Wildcats, but he's just not ready to take that contact yet. So he'll probably be back next week, hopefully. Well, I just hope for this young man here that this young man is obviously it's a serious injury, and it's so quiet. Both teams on their knees, it's just so quiet in here. It's tough to see. Yeah. Football is a violent sport, but things like this happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, and you just absolutely hate it, you know. And if it's who we think it might be, it's a senior, and it's just a guy that, you know, you hate that for any person. I mean, just, you know, and the tough part is at some point they're going to have to go out there and play football. And that's always one of the things that, thankfully, when I played, I didn't ever have anything real serious like this happen to a teammate, because I've always thought, I don't know how you switch that mode, but you have to eventually start playing again after something like this. And just the looks on Powell's faces, it's horrible, and you never want to see it. Like you said, unfortunately, it's a part of the game from time to time, and just certainly prayers up for this young man, and you just absolutely hate to see it.
Let's take another break here. 17-7 Powell on top of the Wildcats. We're on FM 92.7. We'll be back with action in 60 seconds.
Hey, Mike, did you go to Franklin County in 91 when Quitman Spalding got up?
No, I didn't. I saw it. They could split him all the way over. I mean, he got hurt bad. I saw that. That was one of the worst I ever seen. That when what was that linebacker we had broke his leg? That huh? No, not him.
Okay. Hank Aaron.
All right. I'm great doing Dave.
Welcome back once again to Powell High School. The injured player being gurneyed off the field here to his teammates who rushed over to him to give him some support. That was a great scene, and he obviously in a lot of pain, but his teammates went over there to encourage him. And here we'll have football here in a second. We're at the 5:31 mark of the third quarter, 17-7. Where it was a 10-7 ball game at the end of the first half. The Panthers scoring after an interception on a long touchdown, and right now the Wildcats are going to be faced with fourth down and 21 yards to go.
Again, I don't know how you start playing after a moment like that, but you have to. And so emotions certainly factor into sports, and this is going to be a real big moment for both of these teams. Does Powell sort of come out a little bit inspired after what just happened? Or do they come out a little flat?
Who was that anyway, Alex?
I didn't see the number, but we have been told that it was Charvin Thomas, who is not a senior. So the good, if there's any bright spot on that, it's at least that guy's going to have a chance to come back and has a little bit more playing time. But
at the 42-yard line.
That's a net of about 10 yards on that punt. I mean. And it wasn't a horrible punt. I think part of the issue, Brennan's not really been able to step into a punt because he's having to short leg it because everybody's coming so fast and right in his face that he's not able to really get really his full potential into the punts because the Powell pressure is coming so quickly into the backfield.
Wildcats need a takeaway right here. The ball's at the 42-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go. The Oak Ridge defense, I think, has played well with a couple of missed tackles thrown in there. You take those out, and we've got a different ball game. Of course, Potts back to pass. Nobody comes free for him. He rolls to his right, now fires a pass. It's going to be incomplete. It'll be second down, 10 yards to go. 5:11 to play here in the third quarter. Wildcats still in it, 17-7 the score.
They're still in it, but certainly it would make things very, very difficult. It would make the hill to climb much, much tougher and steeper if you let them get points on this drive. Powell already in a position where they're probably 4-down territory inside the 42-yard line.
Three receivers to the left of Potts, one running back, one lone man here to the right. Second down, 10 yards to go. Handoff to the running back, trying to get outside. The Wildcats are going to make the stop. And Mr. Reliable, number 33, Brian Kelly, drops him right at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Give Oak Ridge credit to the first defender there was Grayson Hope. And he didn't make the tackle, unfortunately, but he sort of made the running back bounce it further back, slowed him up just enough to where Brian Kelly could come over there and make that stop.
It's actually a loss of a yard on the play. 3rd down, 11 yards to go. 4:41 to play, third period, 17-7, Powell on top. Wildcats showing blitz here, backing off. Here's Potts going deep down the way. There's the pass receiver. He's wide open. Touchdown. Touchdown, Powell. Wildcat defensive backs back off the receiver. And beautifully thrown pass there and an easy touchdown.
Gianni Magdos, the guy who really he's made the two biggest plays in this game. He had the interception just before half, and then he just made that touchdown catch. Really two huge plays for Gianni.
And it's now 23-7. They'll go for the extra point. Wildcats down 23-7 here. 4 minutes, 26 seconds to play here in the third period. Ball is down. The kick is on its way. It's up, and it is good. We'll be back with a Powell kickoff here live from Powell High School. 24/7 on store. We'll be back in 60 seconds. I can really stand this.
At this time, I'd like to introduce our 2022 Darren Jesowitz, Riley Clark, Matt Hurd, Manny Jarrell, Aaliyah Lee, Andrew Sulak, Blake Williams, Hannah Sulak, Leah Armstrong, and Corey Young. Round of applause for 2022-2023 Pac Squad. Bringing out for the final number 16,
We are back here at Powell High School. The news is not good. 24-7 is our score. Here's the kick by Powell. It's short, off to the right side, and it is going to be going out of bounds once again. And the Wildcats will either make them kick it over or we'll get it at the 35-yard line. Two big plays here in the second half have put a big deficit for the Wildcats here. It looks like they're going to make them kick it again. Although, they didn't signal real well the last time, the officials, but Wildcats are backing up and getting ready for this one. Wildcats down 24-7, still very much in the ballgame, Alex, but the Wildcats have got to make some plays here.
They do. You can't gain it all back in one play, but certainly that touchdown, the issue that brings up, David, is before the run game was still very much in play, and you can lean on that run game, try to get back in this in a two-possession game. Now that it's three possessions, you can still run the football, but with time sort of ticking a little bit here, 4:26 left in the third quarter. All of a sudden, you can run it, but you're going to have to make some plays through the air as time starts to dwindle down a little bit here.
My Braves are up 3-1. Dansby Swanson with a home run to go along with Austin Riley and Matt Olson's home run. Here comes the kick by Powell. End over end kick, and once again, the Wildcats are going to have to go back to field it at the 10 to the 15.
Wow.
And down he goes. And once again, sometimes he kicked it well, sometimes he doesn't. The Wildcats scooted up, and then he kicked it almost over the top of Jai Hunley.
On kick returns, you have a wedge, and understandably, there's a little bit of confusion because the ball went over the return man's head. But Steven Souls, number 6 for Powell, just went right between an Oak Ridge guy, wasn't touched, and totally blew up that play. And I don't understand why Oak Ridge didn't get a hat on him. And the guy ran right past one of the Oak Ridge blockers, and he wasn't even touched.
Ball's at the 15-yard line. It'll be first down, 10 yards to go. 4:18 to play here in this third quarter. Powell on top, 24-7. Here come the Wildcats back on offense here, trying to get some movement here. The Wildcats down to 6 seconds, 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds. And here's the snap, and the handoff goes for a good gain across the 20, up to the 20-yard line. And one of the Wildcats is down on the play. Hopefully he's not too injured. They're okay. Gain of about 4, maybe 5 on the play. The Wildcats clicked it on down to the final second on the play clock once again.
They did, and again, out of a change of possession, so you're essentially out of a timeout. It's just, it's tough. I really don't have an explanation for it at this point.
Second down, 6 yards to go for the Wildcats. Ethan Garza at quarterback. Looks over the sideline for the play. 3:44 and counting, 24-7. The Wildcats trailing. The Wildcats 3-2 coming into this one, 2-0 in region play. Garza, quarterback. It's going to hand it off to Dozier. Dozier's got a 10 back of Oak Ridge, first down across the 30 to the 40 to the 45-yard line, across midfield, officially down at the 48-yard line. A 10 back of Oak Ridge, first down.
And he finished the run. He was driven out of bounds, but he shoved the guy to the ground and kept his balance. He just gets downfield so quickly. He just needs a little bit of space, and I say it every game, but it's just like you blink and he's 10 yards downfield. He does not go east to west. He doesn't dance around. He just gets down the field. What a play that time by Dozier.
First down, 10 yards to go at the 48-yard line of the Powell Panthers. The Wildcats have been able to move the ball on the ground. Drives have stopped when they've tried to pass it. And there's a missed handoff right there and a fumble recovery by the Panthers. So, just a missed handoff there, Alex Myers.
And, Garza had the mistake on fourth down earlier, the interception. I don't fault him too much for that one. It's fourth down, that one right there, that's a mistake, and it may be on Garza, it may have been on the running back, but either way, a miscommunication on the read option where the running back thought the quarterback was keeping it, the quarterback thought the running back was keeping it, and Powell guy was just right there to land on the football. It's just a bad mistake, and not only do you turn the ball over, but now Powell has the ball in great field position.
Brand new quarterback, gotta kind of think about that. His first start ever as a Wildcat. First down, 10 yards to go from the 48-yard line, and play is halted here, and a timeout is asked for. 3 minutes, 19 seconds to play here. Let's take a timeout. Let's send it off to Brian Bennett. We'll be back to Powell in 60 seconds.
Myers Funeral Home Incorporated, Farm Pharmacy, Weigel, State Farm Insurance, Josh Woodhill Team, Christian Heat and Air, Pizza Hut, PBA Federal Credit Union, East Tennessee Orthodontics, and Matlock Tire. This time I would like to recognize our press box sponsor, Texas Silverhead.
Welcome back once again to Powell High School. Potts back to pass. Feeling pressure across the way. Pass incomplete. Second down, 10 yards to go.
Dangerous pass there from Potts in a way, but hey, if you're going to miss on that play going across the middle towards the safety, you have to miss long, and that's what he did. And Potts has gotten away with a few mistakes, I think, but all that matters, you're not painting pictures, as they say, right? All that matters is the actual stats, and he has played a clean ball game to this point.
Second down, 10 yards to go. For those of you on the radio who missed an incompletion, it'll be second down, 10 yards to go from the 48-yard line. Potts is going to hand it to his running back, and he is tackled hard behind the line of scrimmage. The Wildcats, looks like Tyler Pickens there makes the stop for the Wildcats. Third down, 10 yards to go. Down to 3:04 to play here. The Wildcats defense desperately needs to stop.
Yeah, low man wins on the defensive line, and Pickens stayed low that time, got quick penetration into the backfield, and really disrupted that play. Hey, if you're going to get stops on defense, it's great to do them early. A quick 3 and out here would do wonders for this Oak Ridge team.
Third down, 10 yards to go. 2:44 to play, third quarter, 24-7. Powell on top of the Wildcats here from the Oak Ridge 48. Potts to pass, fires a pass, caught. It's going to be shy of a first down by about 2 at the 40-yard line. Really quick pass. He got the ball out of there really, really fast. Had the receiver there. It was a low pass. It'll be fourth down and 2 yards to go.
And I don't know, and they're going to go for this, by the way. I don't know how he's doing it, but Potts has had 5 or 6 balls that I thought for sure were going to get batted down by Oak Ridge defensive linemen. He's not the biggest guy, but for whatever reason, Oak Ridge has not been able to get a hand on it, even when their hands have been up and really in his face.
He is so steady at quarterback. Throws a good pass there. He's just, like you said earlier, it's just a senior leader. Potts in trouble, rolling, looking to fire a pass, fires it deep. It is going to be
Great play by Fred.
incomplete. Dallas Front breaks it up, and the Wildcats take over on downs. Good pressure by the Oak Ridge defense. Forced Potts over towards the far sideline, and he had enough to look down the field. There was a man coming open, but then the Wildcats come over and make a great play.
Two things about that play that made it a great play. First, the linebacking crew on that right side, because for a second I went, oh, dang. Potts had all the time in the world, and I thought he had a gap to run to the sideline. I mean, he's a good enough athlete to get there. Oak Ridge saw what was happening. There was a route coming towards him. The linebackers ganged up and made sure he didn't have that gap. And then once the throw was off, Frent looked a little bit lost. I'm not sure he quite realized the ball was coming at first. But as the ball was headed towards the sideline and the receiver, Dallas just threw his hands up, got in the way, and broke the pass up.
First down, 10 yards to go. The ball at the Wildcat 40. Ethan Garza at quarterback. Good snap. Has time. Fires a pass. It's caught. Wildcats pick up about 10 yards. That's Connor Cummings. Gets to the midfield stripe and to be right at the first down stick.
I think it was actually Will Presley.
Okay, Will, good. Good. Yeah, it was number 11.
He's a big wide receiver, and he showed
freshman.
But he's a big-bodied guy, and he probably should have got tackled after about a gain of 6 or 7 there, but he just kind of bullied his way and powered his way past the chains for a first down.
A 10 bank of Oak Ridge first down. 1st and 10 right at midfield. The Wildcats have been able to move the ball between the 20s, actually. Garza's pass out here, Rimbert. He drops it. Couple drops there for Amani, and he's really usually pretty sure-handed. And it'll be 2nd down, 10 yards to go. And nobody feels worse than Amani does right now.
Yeah, and I almost wonder, it's almost like a basketball player coming off the bench cold. Usually they'll give Armani a play or two where they give him a little jet sweep, some sort of touch. And tonight, I don't think he's had a single carry. You almost wonder maybe just a little cold out there, figuratively, not literally. It's a pretty nice night.
Vashawn Knowles, the receiver, split out to the left side along with Brandon Hayward. Garza hands it off to Dozier, and Dozier can't break through the wall this time. There'll be no gain on the play. It'll be 3rd down, 10 yards to go.
You just got so many good athletes, and you make 2 or 3 guys miss and hand the ball off, and there comes another. It's John Tate Dunn again, really good-looking sophomore who's made several plays on the defensive line tonight.
3rd down, 10 yards to go. The ball right at the 50-yard line. Down to a minute to play here in the 3rd quarter. Wildcats trailing 24-7. Next week, Oak Ridge at home against Greenville. 2 weeks from yesterday, their final home ball game. That'll be senior night against the Carnes High School Beavers. The Wildcats are going to have to call a timeout.
They got 12 men on the field, and they were getting ready to get penalized for breaking the huddle with 12 on the field.
44 seconds to play. We are live here at Powell High School. As I mentioned, next week we'll be live at Blankenship Field. Greenville Green Devils coming to town. The Wildcats will take on Carnes. The Wildcats then will play Dobbins-Bennett and close it out against the Campbell County Cougars. Mike, your thoughts in the ballgame to this point?
Well, it's been a tough night defensively for the Wildcats, to let them score 24 points. And we're struggling on offense. Every time we get things going, it seems like Powell comes up with a big defensive play or we get a penalty. But, this was a big region matchup. And I can see why Powell won the state championship last year. They're a very well-coached team. They have a great quarterback, great running backs. And number 6, if he doesn't get defensive player of the region, I'll eat my hat. That young man can really play defense.
Ball will be at the 50-yard line. The Wildcats will have it 3rd down, 10 yards to go. Wildcats will bring out Jai Hunley. Looks like Will Presley, who I erroneously did not give a catch to earlier. I apologize to the freshman. 2 receivers to the right. Will's way out here on the near sideline. It'll be a long throw for Ethan all the way down here. Here comes Garza, a little reverse play. Wildcats coming up the field, need a block, 50, 45. Wow. Breaking the tackle is Rimbert. Oh, he got popped in the ribs. It's going to be 4th down and about 3 yards to go. Rimbert got around. Boy, he got popped in the side.
He got popped big time. The ball came out, but thankfully the ball was in his outside hand near that sideline, so it fell harmlessly out of bounds. But that sets Oak Ridge up to where they can go for this now. 4th and a long 3 at the Powell, we'll call it the 43-yard line. A few seconds left here, 33 to be exact, left in the 3rd quarter. Oak Ridge, the time is now.
As Alex said, it's at the Powell 43-yard line. 4th down, about 3 yards to go. Ethan Garza back to pass. Fires a pass. It is going to be incomplete. There was a collision. Intended for River once again. Was hit right at the point of the pass. It's incomplete, and they take over on downs.
And interesting, the pressure was there quick. It wasn't a bad pass. I thought the defender might have got there just with a little nudge a little bit early, but it wasn't anything horrific. You almost think 4th and 3. Boy, I would love to have seen Dozier or Jai Hunley have a shot at that right there.
Dozier, he could have gotten that 3, but you never know. I mean, you got to mix it up. I mean, it's hindsight's 20/20.
Oh yeah, and again, Rembert was there. The play was there to be had. It was just it's so hard when they get the pressure up the middle that quick. And give Garza a lot of credit, David. He has done a great job of getting the ball out of his hands quickly, which is not easy to do when you're trying to think about things back there in the pocket.
First down, 10 yards to go for the Panthers. Handoff goes for, probably about 4, maybe 5 yards. They're officially going to put him down for 47. That's going to be the final play of the third quarter. The Wildcats trail it 24-7. We'll take a break. We'll send it back to Brian Bennett. We'll be back for the fourth and final quarter in 60 seconds.
All right, here we go. Panther fans, you know what time it is.
Score in the game of the baseball.
3-1 Braves.
Right.
Party time.
I'm just thinking it's something.
What inning?
They're 7 Like their fourth quarter thing is the Fox and Sports. They don't have a single tradition in 7.
Omaha.
I mean, they are good.
They're not very good. I'm a lot of things, David. I'm not a liar.
Here we go. Welcome back once again to Powell High School. The lights are flashing on and off, on and off. The fans are dancing in the stands here at Powell High School. And what were you saying about traditions, Alex? You don't want to repeat that. I was setting you up.
There's a lot of things happen over here that happen other places, whether it's the Rocky Top Fight song, the alma mater, the jump around, and I don't know. It's a different approach.
I love setting you up there, Alex. Second down, and we'll call it 6 yards to go. Opening play of the fourth quarter. Wildcats could use a takeaway right here. Potts, a quarterback, the Tennessee Tech signee. And he has the snap. He's back to pass. Feeling pressure. Throws one down the field. It is going to be caught inside the 20 to the 15. Fumble! The Wildcats pick it up. The Wildcats have it at the 5. Up to the 10-yard line. The Wildcats will take over. First down, 10 yards to go.
It wasn't pretty, but like Mike Sheehan just said,
Hey, it was awesome.
we will take it. Aiden Green put a double spin cycle on a couple of Oak Ridge defensive backs, and somebody came from behind, I didn't see who, and popped the ball out, and it goes all the way down inside the 5. Oak Ridge recovered it, brings it back out to the 9. Wasn't a pretty one, but it's a break, David, and this team desperately, this offense needed a break.
Yes, they do. Here come the Wildcat offense. You have a unit on the field here. 24-7 the score. 11:45 to play. The Wildcats trailing here in the fourth quarter. Wildcats 2-0 in the region. Powell 2-0 in the region. Wildcats with that close set. Quarterback is going to hand it off to the running back, and he's going to get hardly anything, maybe up to the 11-yard line. It'll be second down and about 8 yards to go. Dozier on the ball, on the run there for the Wildcats. I was talking about how this press box is built, and in some ways it's good. In other ways, it's kind of hard to see. When they're on the left side, so we're on the far side of the press box here, and we're in here with the coaching staff, which is we're glad to be sometimes.
I'm sure they're really loving our commentary after every play call.
Second down, 8 yards to go for the Wildcats. The ball is right at the 10-yard line. It does appear the Wildcats will hand it off right side. Good running room. That's Hunley. Hunley has a 10-back of Oak Ridge first down, shoved out of bounds, but not before he gets all the way up to the 26-yard line. A 10-back of Oak Ridge first down.
And they found something with that tight power formation where they got everybody in basically on the line of scrimmage. and the quarterback under center. Both times they've been in that tonight, they've run to the left side with Jai Hunley, and both times he's just bounced it outside and just simply outrun defenders for a first down. The first time they ran it, it was for a touchdown. I like that play against this Powell team. They are not ready for that right now.
First down, 10 yards to go. The ball is at the 26-yard line. Brandon Hayward split out to the right side. The Wildcats once again with that tight formation. Garza, the play is blown up. He was able to hand it off there. They came in quickly. I think they have found something how to defend it. They just bring everybody in.
Yeah, and you wonder, we can't hear from up here, but you wonder if maybe with a quarterback that's not been in there a lot, with a new center, maybe they're not changing up the cadences when they're snapping the ball. That's one thing that running that play clock down to one does, is a lot of times, which that wasn't the case that play, but a lot of times the defense knows they can tee off because you're getting ready to get a penalty. One thing with Hayward, I'd like to see Oak Ridge flip him to the far side of the field because, well, now they're going to – never mind. They were only having Aiden Green, their best athlete, at corner on the near side, but now that they flipped Hayward, as I was hoping they would do, they're just having Aiden Green shadow him.
Handoff goes up the middle for the Wildcats, and breaking a tackle is Dozier, but he's going to be short of a first down by about 4. It'll bring up third down and 4 yards to go. Down to 9:57 to play in the ball game here at Powell High School. The Wildcats down 24-7. It'll be third down and a long 4.
And it's probably a passing situation, and I would guess that's what Oak Ridge is going to do. But I would really like to see that triple option where Oak Ridge pitches it going outside, because Powell has stayed with a running back every time on that, and it's been there. I would say Oak Ridge keep the ball on the ground if I'm calling plays. Wildcats have an injured player. A timeout is asked for here. 9 minutes, 42 seconds to play here in this ball game. The Wildcats down 24-7. Let's send it off to Brian Bennett. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Is that true? Yeah, it is. He's been in there, but I haven't seen him in a while.
We got 2 downs to do, so that's been a good plan with us. Now 17.
Truett text, the injured Wildcat comes off on his own power here. Alex, the Wildcats have a big third down right here.
Huge third down, and at this point in the game, even in your own territory, 3rd and 4, I'd run the ball here, Dave. The reason is because I think you're probably in 4-down territory. Just run the ball. They really haven't stopped you yet when you run it. They're bringing pressure, a lot of it, right up the middle, though. Oak Ridge has struggled with that here in the third quarter.
Third down, 4 yards to go. Ethan Garza has gone all the way at quarterback for the Wildcats. Junior getting his first start. He's going to pitch it out to the left side. The Wildcats have the first down. Wildcats pushed out of bounds at around the 40-yard line. Play is halted there. The clock stops at 9:22 to play in the ballgame. 24-7 the score.
It's the first time Oak Ridge has actually kept that and run that pitch play to the outside. Nice decision by Ethan to not mess around, hold it too long. He pitched the ball quickly, gave Dozier a shot to see what was coming downfield. He was able to get to the sideline and out sprint the defenders for the first down.
Rimmer's going to be split out to the right side. Dozier is in the backfield. Jai Hunley is a receiver of the Wildcats. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball is at their own 38-yard line. 9:22 to play in the ball game. 24-7. The Wildcats need points quickly to get back in this ball game. Hunley comes in motion. Garza back to pass, goes deep. Overthrown, incomplete.
Oh, they got their flag.
Oh, that's tough. That is tough. He got held a little bit. Kind of got slowed down a little bit, but ball was, they're going to say, the fans here in Powell, they think the ball was overthrown. It was, but he was being held, so he couldn't get to it.
Yeah, that's true. And you know, I think that's probably one. I'll try to be fair here. Oak Ridge got called for one earlier that I thought was a little bit questionable, could have gone either way. That one probably could have, but I think you're right. The reason it was overthrown was because Brandon was held. Now, even if Brandon wasn't held, I don't think he was quite ready for the ball. He didn't have his head around, but hey, again, Oak Ridge, you've got to take advantage when you get these little mini breaks, and there was another one right there. All of a sudden, you're in positive territory.
Wildcats have it at the Powell 47-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go. 9 minutes, 17 seconds to play in the ballgame. 24-7. 3 big plays for the Powell Panthers. The big difference in the ballgame. Here come the Wildcats.
It's on Hayward down here.
Hayward splitting out to the right. The Wildcats. First down, 10 yards to go. Garza's going to go in the reverse to Rimbert once again. Rimbert up the sideline and driven out of bounds at around the 42-yard line. Positive gain on the play for the Wildcats, and more importantly, it stops the clock at 9 minutes and 10 seconds to play. It'll be for the Wildcats. Second down, 7 yards to go. The ball's at the 44-yard line. Wildcats have been able to move between the 30s. I've said that earlier, but they haven't been able to, with the exception of that one drive, haven't been able to get anything going after that.
They really haven't. And give Powell's defense some credit. They've certainly had a hand in making that happen. Again, play clock down to 8 seconds here. Oak Ridge struggling to get their plays off quickly.
Third down. Garza's going to hand it off. Wildcats cutting it outside. That's Hunley. 40, 35. Got a block from Hayward. Spins and goes out of bounds right at the 29-yard line. That'll be a 10-back of Oak Ridge first down, but a penalty, and it's going to go against Oak Ridge. Penalty against the Wildcats negates a nice run by Jai Hunley. 9 minutes to play in the ball game, and they'll step the yardage off against Oak Ridge.
And I didn't see it when it happened, but I almost wonder if that was even necessary, because Hunley broke the play. It started up the middle, but broke it way out wide, and I almost wonder if that was even a necessary thing to do. Of course, as a lineman, you don't necessarily always know where your running back is going if he sees a crease and cuts it outside. But second 11, not the worst thing in the world. It's not a horrible penalty, but certainly not a good one.
Ball is back at the 48-yard line of Powell. 9:01 to play here in the ball game. The Wildcats down 24-7. You're watching this game on YouTube on our Prep Radio channel. We're also on FM 92.7, FM 94.7. Connor Cummings, Rimbert split out to the left side. Hayward here to the right. Backfield, Hunley, the tight end in a slot is Brian Kelly. Play clock down to 2. They get the play off. Here comes Hunley moving the ball forward. Gain of about 6 on the play. It'll be third down, then about 4.
You're in 4-down territory here. So 3rd and 4. The whole playbook really is wide open. You can run this. You can pass this. They're taking Brian Kelly out of the game, getting Will Presley in, another receiver. It leads you to believe that it might be more of a passing situation. But again, third down, not 4. Third down in about 7. They're about 6. They're a long 6, they'll say. Oak Ridge on the right hash, the far side of the field. Will Presley, the lone wide receiver, no safety help, all by himself.
From the 43-yard line, third down 6. Rimmer comes in motion. Flags are down. Pass is incomplete. We're going to have a motion call against the Wildcats, I do believe.
And it looks like Oak Ridge is shaking up in the backfield. I don't know if that might be Hunley trying to stretch it out.
They're going to decline the penalty, and it'll be 4th down and 6 yards to go.
So I would ask you, David, what would that penalty be that it's not a dead ball if it's on Oak Ridge? It was holding.
It was motion.
Okay.
Yeah, remember, kind of made his cut in before he's supposed to. That's what the call was. So they got 2 receivers split to the left side for the Wildcats. We've been moving the ball until we get to about this stage, Alex, and then we kind of shoot ourselves in the foot.
Yeah, I was going to say, and I don't know that it's always Powell as much as it is Oak Ridge is sort of doing it to themselves to an extent. Somebody's got to step up and make a play here. It's sort of now or never time for the Wildcats.
Ethan Garza, quarterback for the Wildcats. 4th down, 6 yards to go. Hayward comes in motion this time. Little screen pass is going to be caught by Rimbert behind the line of scrimmage and dropped for a loss. Wildcats are going to lose yardage on the play back to the 50-yard line. They needed 6. They went for the screen pass, and they didn't get it. Alex Myers. Good news is the Braves are winning 5-1 over the Mets. If they hold on and win that game, they'll be back tied for first place with 2 more games with the Mets coming up this weekend. And I'll be down in Atlanta Saturday and Sunday to watch the Atlanta Braves. Alex Myers.
Yeah.
as the Wildcats are back on
Definitely
defense
jealous,
here.
David Clary.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. It's going to be 42,000 there tonight. Mike Sheehan's going to the LSU Tennessee ball game.
I heard things get wild down there, Mike. You better. They call him the Wild Man Sheehan. You better behave yourself.
From the 50-yard line, first down, 10 yards to go. The Wildcats, when they get an opportunity, they just haven't been able to take care of it. Here's a pass. Oh, beautiful catch. Nice tackle on the other end, but beautiful throw, beautiful catch by the Powell Panthers.
Yeah, J.J. Fouch just came streaking across the middle. Wasn't horrible coverage, but what a beautiful ball from 5 that time. Potts delivered a strike, and Powell's just like that in scoring range inside the Oak Ridge red zone. Ball down at the 18-yard line.
You know, I know the score is 24-7. Obviously, I'm an Oak Ridge guy here, but you know what? It didn't seem like they have really just dominated us. We have just shot ourselves in the foot offensively. Defense, I think, has really played well, honestly, as Potts is going to run the ball himself, and he's going to have a touchdown. Untouched until he gets to the goal line. Touchdown, Powell Panthers. Was that you, Alex?
Just back to what you're talking about on before that last play, and you're right, because it doesn't really seem like Powell has dominated, but Powell has made 5 or 6 individual plays that have totally switched this ballgame. A key turnover, 2 or 3 real long runs and a couple of long passes, and that's it. You know, they haven't had sustained drives like Oak Ridge has, but they've finished drives like Oak Ridge has not. And so, and the other thing is Powell really hasn't gotten hurt with a bunch of penalties, whereas Oak Ridge has hurt themselves. I think that was tipped by Izzy Mitchell or Brendan Hayward, and that's no good, David. Good point.
Kick is no good. The lights are flashing. 30-7 our score. We'll be back with a kickoff in 60 seconds. What was his name? I don't even remember his name.
That was his name. Got a backup kicker now.
Right.
Jeremiah Bellmans.
Here's a kickoff by Powell. It's going to be fielded and returnable at the 20, at the 25, Hundley at the 30, down the sideline, 35 to the 40. Pushed out of bounds at the 41-yard line, and that is where Oak Ridge will have it first down, 10 yards to go. We've had good field position. We've been able to move the ball, but then our drive stalled as Jai Hundley, who was out a couple ball games, a little slow to get up. He's heading over towards the Oak Ridge sideline. Wildcats down now 30-7. The Wildcats will fall to 2-1 in the region unless they can have a miraculous comeback right here.
Yeah, it would be something, that's for sure. Playhawks running. Oak Ridge they're starting this drive. They're huddling up on the far sideline. 12 seconds to go as they break the huddle, and now they're going to have to come all the way to the far hash, line up and get this ball snapped. There's 5 seconds. They're not going to get this off. This is crazy, Dave. This is crazy.
Yep, there's delay a game against the Wildcats. Delay a game against the Wildcats. Out of a timeout. I mean, obviously you don't want that, but
I don't understand why we're huddling on the far side when the ball's on the near hash. I mean, tell the quarterback to play and let's get everybody lined up.
First down, 15 yards to go for the Wildcats. The ball is at the 35-yard line. Ethan Garza, quarterback, 2 receivers to his left. Dozier comes in motion. Garza across the way pass is caught. Good game. A near a 10 back of a first down, and there's looks like a punch to get the ball out of there. He did swing at him. He's Izzy Mitchell on the reception. Nice catch, nice throw, and a gain of about 14 yards on the play.
Yeah, really nice play from Izzy that time. They're going to say he didn't quite get the first down. Nice pass, nice throw and catch that time by Izzy Mitchell. It's just a situation where you just got to put one foot in front of the other and try to go get some points here.
Second down and a yard to go for the Wildcats. The ball right at the 50-yard line. Wildcats have had good field position. There's movement on the line. Wildcats continue to kind of shoot themselves in the foot, and that's going to be another 5-yard penalty. Wildcats have had 2 5-yarders, 1 delay of game, 1 illegal procedure just jumping across the line. It'll be second down and about 6 yards to go. 6:38 to play in the ball game. The Wildcats down 30-7 here from Powell High School. Next week, Greenville. Week after that, a Thursday night ball game against Carnes. Garza rolls right, fires a pass. It's going to be caught for a first down. Will Presley makes the reception right at the 43-yard line. For a first-time quarterback, I like the way Ethan Garza is actually playing.
He's playing very confident. At times we've seen Oak Ridge just it's almost seemed like they're thinking a little bit at the quarterback position. He is just out there playing.
First down, 10 yards to go. The ball is at the 46-yard line. Near movement by Powell there. Down to 6 minutes and 3 seconds to play in the ball game. Taking it on down. Ethan Garza from the shotgun. He's going to hand it off to his running back, and that is the Javis Dozier. He gets about a yard to the 45-yard line. It'll be second down, 9 yards to go. 5:42 and counting in the ball game. The Wildcats second down, 9. Wildcats have Brandon Hayward, Izzy Mitchell as receivers, Presley and Rimbert as well.
You feel like Presley, even in what's going to ultimately be a loss, he just feels like he sort of grew up a little bit tonight. He's been more consistent and made more plays, really, than it feels like he has in any game this year.
Second down, 9 yards to go. He's going to be a good one for us. He's really going to be a good one. Garza rolls to his left, fires a pass. It's incomplete. Pass intended over there for Izzy. Kind of rolled off to his left side. It's incomplete. Down to 5 minutes and 10 seconds to play in the ball game. Wildcats will fall to 2-1. The Panthers will go to 3-0 in the region. The only undefeated team left, Wildcats and Cougars. I think the only teams with 2 region wins. Carnes trying to get their second region win today. The Wildcats will play Carnes in 2 weeks. Clinton 0-3 in the region. Lenore City yet to win a ball game. Third down, 9 yards to go from the 45. Garza will roll to his left and get sacked. Looks to his right, did not see anybody come open, then rolled off to his left side, and there was nothing there but gray shirts. It'll be 4th and long.
And it was a fumble at the end of the play, but they're going to say that Garza was down and he was being sacked. And again, Garza's stats aren't going to be pretty after this game, but I lean with you, David. He's played pretty well, and there's a lot of plays, and you don't see this in the stat book, where the guys are just coming really almost untouched into the backfield. As soon as he gets the ball, he doesn't really even have time to think about trying to figure out what he's doing. 5 seconds on the play clock. The play's just now in. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second.
Delay of game. Another delay of game call against the Wildcats. So it'll be 4th and about 20. And when you're down 30-7, 4:18 to play, and the flag went down. Whether they got the penalty or not, I don't think so. So they did call the timeout. Ball's at the 50-yard line. Next week is Greenville, Alex. We went up to Greenville last year, and probably one of the most enjoyable trips we made. The game wasn't pretty, obviously, but very hospitable. People up in Greenville, they're very, very accommodating to us, and I look forward to them coming down to Blankenship Field next Friday night.
Yeah, hopefully we can return the favor off the field and on the field. I got a bunch of family in Greenville. It's not a drive I used to love making, going to family reunions. As a little kid, 30-minute drive seems like an hour. An hour drive seems like 2 hours. But such a beautiful area up there. I wasn't able to make that trip with y'all last year, but certainly looking forward to hosting them next week and seeing if Oak Ridge can ultimately rebound, because barring something, knock on wood, it seems like Oak Ridge is going to have most of their starters back, most of their guys that have been dinged up all year. Looks like they're going to have those guys back. So now it's just about putting those pieces together. Even though it's not a region game, certainly another really, really high-level team that Oak Ridge is going to be facing. This schedule does really not let up at any point during the year.
Will Presley splits to the right side of the Wildcats. It's 4th down, 15 yards to go. Guards at a pass long. Pass is incomplete. Either intended for Izzy or for Connor. It's well overthrown, incomplete. He had to throw it really quick, to be honest with you. It'll be for the Powell Panthers taking over on downs once again. 30-7 is our score. 4:13 to play in the ball game. This Powell team is good. Defensively, I don't know if they're as strong as they were a year ago. Offensively, they're very good.
Well, but the thing about them defensively is they just seem to have a ton of depth. I mean, there's just so many guys that have been in the backfield, and it's not just like they've got one dominant pass rusher like last year. I mean, they've got several guys. They're a deep team. Interesting, Powell keeping their starters out here right now.
Heading up to the running back, Knowles grabs him and tackles him right at the line of scrimmage. Wildcats watching the clock here, 4:04 to play. The Wildcats, it's just been a weird game. At times, when Dozier and Hunley, they've had some broken off some really good runs, but then the drives have stalled every time except that first one.
And again, give Powell credit. Oak Ridge has done a lot of the damage to themselves, but at the same time, Powell stiffened up on multiple occasions as Oak Ridge is right when you thought they had every answer. Powell switches up the question, if you will, and comes up with big stops.
Second down, 10 yards to go for the Panthers right at midfield. Little quick pass, dropped. Hit him in the hands, and the Powell people not too happy about that. Mike's right. He was trying to run before he caught it. Third down, 10 yards to go. The ball's at the 50. 30-7 Powell on top of the Wildcats. So back-to-back years, the Panthers have beaten the Wildcats. Oak Ridge won at Blankenship Field in 2020. I think it was 28-27. This is a very similar score to this one, to last year's score. The Wildcats lead the all-time series 7-4. And
Kyle's going to call a timeout.
They had gotten the play clock down to 9, and they called their timeout with 3:28 to play in the ball game. 30-7 our score. We'll send it back to Brian. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Get ready to tweet out the title. Go ahead and type it up. It's going to be that. I'll change the score this time. And we appreciate all of our sponsors, as Matt Lowe and the official, the referee, having a heated discussion down on the field. And he's a fiery guy. I remember when he played here. I remember when he played basketball, too. He was kind of a hard-nosed basketball player as well. He's the head coach here. But it's a heated discussion. Your team is up 30-7, and he is fiery and all over that official.
I'm not exactly sure what the case was, but, hey, you know what? Say a lot of things about Coach Lowe, but you can never say that he quits coaching. I mean, he's coaching this game like his team is trailing, trying to win this ball game on this drive.
Third down, 10 yards to go for Jordan Potts. Ball's at the 50-yard line. Potts is going to hand it to the running back, and he is hit and tackled by Brian Kelly. He was initially hit by Terrence Anthony. Terrence Anthony getting the start for Blake Steed, unfortunately, who tore that same ACL that he did a year ago, and he's out for the year. Had surgery. Going to have surgery. Obviously, it's tough for him. He's going to be out for the second consecutive year. It's 4th down and about 6. A little pride here for the Oak Ridge defense, needing a stop. They're going to bring the punt team in.
At this point, Powell had several punts early. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't feel like Powell's punted the ball in 2.5 quarters.
The Wildcats need to get somebody back to receive the kick. They come trotting onto the field. Play clock down to 2. Here's the snap. It's good. And the punt is away. It's a wobbly, spiraling kick. Fair catch is made by Brandon Hayward at around the 10-yard line. We've got 2:35 to play in the ball game. 30-7 Powell.
And it's going to be a penalty tacked on to the end of that play after the fair catch. Front got upended. Probably going to be unnecessary roughness. It's going to be a personal foul of some sort, I think, against Powell.
Next week, as I mentioned, the Wildcats back home against Greenville. Then the following Thursday, the Wildcats will take on Carnes. The Wildcats will make a long road trip up to Kingsport, Dobbins-Bennett, take on the Indians in that one. Then final game will be at Blankenship Field, or actually Campbell County, I apologize. Campbell County scored 54 points last night against the Clinton Dragons. Their sophomore quarterback had nearly 300 yards passing. He was fantastic.
Greenville, score of interest, they put up 61 tonight. They win. Maryville, give a stat to 5-star preps here for the stat, had won 144 consecutive region games before tonight. They fall to Cleveland 28-24. First time dropping a region game since Halls in 2000.
What about Carnes? First down, 10 yards to go for the Wildcats. The ball after the penalty yardage up to the 27-yard line. Ethan Garza. Pass is going to be caught by the Wildcats. Looks like Connor Cummings. Pushed out of bounds at around the 28.
There's a flag on the play. Lenore City almost pulled it out. Final score 38-36. Carnes wins. That would have been big for Oak Ridge had Carnes dropped that one.
Yeah, Carnes has a great offense, but defensively, I saw him play Carter last week, and it was that kind of a ball game as well. They just they have a great offense. They've got a good running back in Deshaun Bishop, our friend Hayden Tarwater at quarterback over there, and their line's done a good job. They score a lot of points, but they give up a lot of points. And Lenore City with that single wing, it's kind of hard to defend if you don't see it, as this one's going to go against Oak Ridge.
Deja vu all over again, David. Another penalty negating a decent play from Cummings in the offense.
It'll be for the Wildcats now. First down and 20. 2:25 to play in the ball game. Alex will go down on the field and interview Coach Cummings after the game. Garza, screen pass. Here comes a wide open pass. Wide open. Connor can't get under it. They bid on that one. That was going to be a touchdown, but the pass just a little bit too far and out of his reach. But a nice play. It was wide open. Brandon Hayward, I think, on the throw.
It was a pretty throw by Brandon. Had a lot of air under it, just not quite enough. As I didn't realize Brandon had that sort of arm strength, and maybe he didn't either, as Connor Cummings was as wide open as you'll see a man on a football field, just a little bit overthrown. And, if nothing else, that throws a little wrinkle on film that Greenville and some upcoming opponents are going to see and going to have to be aware and practicing and be ready for.
Will Presley split out to the right side. The Wildcats have a receiver to the left, a couple of them. Second down, 20 yards to go. Hayward in motion. Garza's pass out here. Nice pass out to Brandon Hayward. He makes the reception, is tackled hard at around the 33-yard line. I'm telling you, Garza's passes are not bad at all.
No, I've actually been. He's played better than I thought he had to win this game. Oak Ridge is, the penalties haven't always necessarily been on him. There's delay of game. Certainly, he plays a part in that maybe. But as far as being a thrower of the football, he's impressed me tonight. He's got a lot of potential, and I think as he continues to build confidence, continues to get more reps, he's only going to get better.
They're down 8, about 5 yards to go for the Wildcats. We're down to 2:08 to play in the ball game. Lots of pressure. A little screen pass is caught by Dozier. Dozier outside 35 to the 40, to the 45. Makes a cut at the 50. Moves into Powell territory at the 44-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10 following the 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down.
Great play by Dozier again. He just doesn't quit on plays. He just constantly moving north and south and moving the chains. A great play by Dozier. You know, you're not winning this game, but let's see if Oak Ridge maybe can just get a touchdown and get some sort of points here to maybe try to carry some momentum into next week.
1st and 10. The ball's at the 45-yard line. Presley and Hundley split to the right. 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Minute 33 to play in the ball game. Guards at a pass. Fires a pass. Batted down. Intended for Jai Hundley. That one just didn't have enough on it. Luckily, it wasn't picked off and taken back the other way.
Yeah, nice play by the youngster into the ball game, Charles Behringer. It's actually a junior, but I haven't seen him out there a ton tonight. But nice play by Behringer.
Second down, 10 yards to go. The ball is at the 45-yard line. Alex is headed down to the field to interview Coach Scott Cummings after the ball game. We'll get Mike Sheehan. Mike's sitting over at the 40. We need to get him over here. And now, you know it was coming.
Yes, I do.
Guards are back to pass. Pressured. Looks to throw. Goes deep. Man there. A couple of them. Pass is incomplete. Connor Cummings, the intended receiver. It'll be 3rd down, 10 yards to go. You know, the score, and I give all the credit in the world for Powell. They've beaten Oak Ridge and they've made big plays, but the score doesn't really seem to be the way the Wildcats played. At times, the Wildcats look really good. I thought on defense, the Wildcats were really solid, except for some missed tackles on some long plays. But as the offense has shot themselves in the foot several times when they've been moved the ball in between the 30s, and then they just can't finish drives.
I know. It's a shame we just seem to have penalties at the worst time on this thing. There's a lousy luck sometimes, really, David.
3rd and 10, Ethan, back to pass. Screen pass is going to be caught by Dozier. Dozier at the 40-yard line, breaks through that tackle, 35 to the 30, runs over a man all the way down to around the 24-yard line. You know, I said it, even since he was at Robertsville, his name is Dozier. He's definitely a bulldozer. He just runs over people.
He's a very impressive runner. When he gets his pad leverage so low, nobody can tackle him. I mean, he just like trying to tackle a fire hydrant. And he did a great job on that drive right there.
We're under a minute to play in this one. The ball at the Powell 25-yard line. Ethan Garza back to pass. End zone. Passes up and incomplete. A little underthrown there right at the pylon. It'll be 2nd down, 10 yards to go.
Will Presley made a great effort to get to that ball, David, but the defense was there and kind of knocked it out of his hands just as he caught the ball. Will's going to be an impressive receiver before he leaves this high school. Being just a freshman, he does a really good job.
2nd down, 10 yards to go. We're down to 44 seconds to play in the ball game. Ball is at the 25-yard line. We'll have the post-game show with statistics with Mark and Shauna Hayes, and Alex will interview Coach Cummings down on the field. 2nd down, 10 from the 25-yard line. Play clock down to 6, down to 5. Ethan Garza, low snap, rolls. Rolling, looking, fires, passes caught. Cummings at the 15, Cummings at the 11-yard line. That is another 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down.
Well, the flag on the play against the Wildcats, David.
Looks like it's going to be another hold, I guess, and that negates what would have been another first down.
Same thing, seemed like a repeat of just what we were just talking about a few moments ago. Every time we get down there and we get something really positive going, then we have a negative and we stay behind the chains and we can't score.
This is really maybe the most penalized Oak Ridge team I can remember from game to game to game.
I wasn't going to say that, but I've thought it more than once. I'm going to ask Mark Hayes if he knows how many penalties they've had, but it's a ton and a bunch, more than they should have.
Well, it's like Coach Cummings told me in the pregame show. He says we just continue to shoot ourselves in the foot, and that's, that's the problem. 22 seconds to play here. Down to 20. It'll be 2nd down and 26 yards to go. Garza pass, incomplete.
Way low.
10 seconds to play. Pass intended for Cummings. It's one of those games here, you and I have seen a lot of Oak Ridge football games. You've seen more than me. You're slightly older than me, but, in the old days, this is what we did to people. And eventually we're going to get back to that, hopefully. But, this is a good Powell team. They are the defending state champions. I haven't said that enough, I don't think. So.
No, I don't think so either, because they are a very impressive team, so I'm not going to get too down in the mouth about it.
Garza Denals passes. Touchdown, Oak Ridge! On a deflection, which was going to be an interception. Knowles trailing, caught it on a deflection. Touchdown, Wildcat.
That looked almost like a lateral, David. Everybody up here is laughing. That was the oddest play I've seen in a long time. The defender actually caught the ball, and he flipped it up in the air. Knowles caught it in midair and ran it into the end zone for the Wildcat score.
30-13 our score. 3 seconds to play in the ball game. That ball looked like it was going to be intercepted. It went off his fingertips. Knowles right there caught it, scored the touchdown. David Wilson to attempt the extra point. The ball is up, and it is good. So the Wildcats score 30-14 our score. We'll be back with the Wildcat kickoff in 60 seconds.
That was totally bizarre.
There's a will play after the game. Now, while they prepare.
Yes, y'all. Here I'm trying.
Welcome back to Powell High School. The Wildcats down 30-14, about to kick off here with 3 seconds to play in the ball game. For Sean Knowles, Powell's going to call a timeout here. I think, as Alex said, Coach Lowe continues to coach here. I think they want to get some good hands. Guys out on the field there. There's only 3 seconds to play. What a play there. It went off the fingertips of the defender. Knowles, Johnny on the spot, just makes the catch. And it's a touchdown for the Wildcats. Unfortunately, not enough of those in this one. 30-14. Well, hope you'll stay tuned. Mark Hayes will have the final statistics of the ball game. We'll interview Coach Cummings as well. Next week is Oak Ridge and Greenville and Blankenship Field. And then the following Thursday, Oak Ridge and Carnes. Want to make sure we get that. We want to continue to have good crowds. The Wildcats, this is their first region loss. They'll fall to second place. The Wildcats still have a lot to play for, like a home playoff game with region games with Campbell County and Carnes. Here's the kick by Brennan Pearson. It's end over end, and that is going to be a touchback. 3 seconds to play in the ball game. Wildcats down 30-14. What a play there. I mean, you just don't see that. We finally got a little luck in this one.
Yeah, but you don't see that. I don't know in all the games we've ever done that I've seen that happen, especially with 3 seconds to go. It's just a bizarre thing to happen, and it made a lot of Oak Ridge people happy and everybody in the press box laughing.
Doing the tomahawk chop here. The Braves are still ahead going into the 9th inning at Truist Park here, trying to pull even with the Mets. It's 5-2 Braves, but they're doing the chop here. I don't know how that kind of equates to the Panthers here. Their fight song is Rocky Top. They're doing the tomahawk chop here, so kind of hard to figure out how that.
I heard the Braves won.
They haven't won yet. It's 5-2 in the ninth.
Oh.
Here comes the victory formation for the Powell Panthers. 30-14 will be our final score here from Powell. As I mentioned, we'll have the post-game show coming up in a moment. He takes a knee, and that's it. The Wildcats have been defeated 30-14. That is your final score here from Powell High School. Mike, your thoughts on the game?
It was a hard-fought contest, David, against the defending state champion Powell at their stadium, and they have got a very good football team, is all I can say, David. They're going to be hard to contend with again this year, and I'm sure they're going to go far in the playoffs, as I well hope the Wildcats do. We got to get it back together and get ready for Greenville next week, which won't be a regional game, but I tell you what, Greenville's one of the best teams in the state, and it's going to be a great contest next week for the Wildcats. Another big test, but the big thing is they'll be at home and at Jack Armstrong Stadium and Blankenship Field. So please come out and watch them play. This is a very good team. I enjoy really watching this team, David. I really do.
Let's take a break here. Actually, why don't you run down your scoring summary there, Mike?
Okay, I can do that. Start things off. Powell Panthers with 4:52 left in the first quarter. Connor Wheeler, running back for the Panthers, ran one in from 53 yards out, put the Panthers up 6-0. Then Dylan Stooksbury came in and kicked the ball between the uprights, and the Panthers led over the Wildcats 7-0. But with 1:15 left in the first quarter, Oak Ridge drove the ball down the length of the field, where from 11 yards out, Jai Hunley ran it in from 11 yards out, and the Wildcats only trailed by one, 6-7. Then David Wilson came in for the Wildcats and tied that game up 7-7. Then in the second quarter, the only score of the game was a field goal by Powell Panthers, and at the half, Powell was up 10-7. From Dylan Stooksbury kicked that from 32 yards, that field goal, with only 1 second left in the first half. So they took a 10-7 halftime lead. Wildcats really, played great, I thought, in the first half, particularly on defense. But in the second quarter, really, they killed them. They scored 14, they being the Powell Panthers. Adrian Redmond had a 37-yard touchdown run, and the Panthers went up 16-7 with 7:59 left in the third quarter. Then Dylan Stooksbury kicked the extra point, and the Panthers led over the Wildcats 17-7. And after a short punt, and then the next time they scored, Jordan Pitts threw a 42-yard pass to number 22, Gina Maduas, and the Panthers went up 23-7. Then Dylan Stooksbury kicked the ball between the uprights, and with 4:26 in the third quarter, the Panthers led 24-7. Then in the fourth quarter, Jordan Potts had a 17-yard touchdown run, and the Panthers went up 30-7. And their kick was blocked, so their score remained 30-7. And then with 3 seconds left in the game, Oak Ridge scored on a 41-yard touchdown catch by Dallas Prince, and the Wildcats were on the board once again. They were 13-30, and then they came in and kicked the extra point. David Wilson did, and the final score of the night's game: Powell Panthers 30, Oak Ridge Wildcats 14.
Long conversation with the head coach, the Wildcats, Coach Scott Cummings, and the Wildcats. 30-14 was the final score. The Wildcats played hard. They fought hard. But as we've said throughout the broadcast, it's just so many penalties. I mean, just so many penalties at crucial times in the ball game. And I know that's got to be very frustrating to Coach Cummings and his staff. But at times the Wildcats were able to move the ball. I thought, we'll get the final stats here in a minute, but I thought Dozier ran the ball great in this game. I thought Ethan, for his first start ever as a Wildcat, I thought he did fine. You can't fault him at all.
No, the effort was there. There's definitely no lack of effort on this team. Bashan Knowles has got to be excited. That's one of the most exciting ends to a football game I've seen in a long time with 3 seconds left. To be that aware of where the ball is and to catch that tip and then run it into the end zone was really an exciting way for the Wildcats to end the game on a positive note, no doubt.
What was funny about it, when he caught it, he kind of looked, I got it, and then he went in the end zone. He looked at and he realized he got a touchdown. I mean, it was his just watching his body language.
Yeah.
It is a positive way to end after, getting, thumped here in a region ball game, but it is something to build on.
Yeah, it certainly is. I enjoyed this game. I just wish the score had been different.
In a moment, we're going to go down to Alex Myers. I hesitate to take a break. They're getting ready to finish. Alex is listening to me. And why don't we take a break here, I guess, here. Nope. Alex, you want me to take a break?
No, he said no.
Okay, well.
It's coming, so we'll keep it right here. We're going to skip the player portion today. We're going to go straight to Coach Cummings and quite frankly try to get in and out a little bit. He's talking to his son. I'm sure that's a nice moment of pride, being able to have his son back out there after being out there for all the regular season to this point. As soon as we can get Coach Cummings' attention, we will speak to him very quickly.
Alex, your thoughts on the game while you wait for
down here with Josh.
Coach Cummings.
Final score 30-14. If we can get Coach Cummings, Coach, I know a tough loss. We'll try to get you in and out of here real quick. Coach, first off, I want to say, talk about Ethan Garza. First start, didn't exactly know as a fan what to expect, but I thought for the most part he handled the adversity pretty well, and just talk about his performance.
Well, let me tell you right now, man, Souls, number 6, defensive end for Powell, man, he is on every film we've seen, and now we see it in person. That sucker can play, it made it tough on us, to have time to throw the ball downfield. And, Garza, for the most part, handled it well, but it's hard to keep in mind, and we have to. Today was his very first ever high school start, ever. So, and to come in to, play against a defensive front like that, and, we had a new center in there. Truitt went out, toward the end, but Truitt went out again with his ankle, and he tried to battle through it. So I'm proud of a lot of that. I am. And defensively, Potts makes it tough on you too. And, they got a few things on us that we can't have happen. But overall, I thought defense played well, except for a few big plays.
Talk to your team about their mindset, about sort of the mental state. Where is this team right now coming off a bye week?
We're, obviously on the injury front, it's been challenging to us. I think I'm really proud of the kids for their mentality of having, next man up, and I think we've done that. And I think our kids have really embraced that and had next man up and performed well for the most part, But it'll sure be nice to have Elijah Rogers back. I'll tell you that. We'll see about Jaden Williams' hamstring again. We just can't seem to get that guy on the field. He's an athlete we'd love to have out there too. It was good to have Connor. Connor Cummings back. It's his first game of the year. So we just had some challenges we got to overcome, and we got to get better on Monday because like I told the team, we don't have long to sulk, right? We got Greenville next week, and with our schedule, there's just no breaks. But we should be ready for playoff time if we can get healthy.
Yeah, another tough opponent next week. Last question I'd ask of you. A lot of self-inflicted penalties tonight. You had some positives, I think, on both sides of the football, but a lot of the things that hurt you, I think, you'd probably admit you did to yourself. How do you sort of get that solved as we head into the later part of this season?
It's been happening, unfortunately, a lot and too much, and as the head coach, it's embarrassing, we're working every day to get rid of them. We put in a certain motion, and then, the wrong player goes in motion or whatever, and some of that has got to be, is our mental focus in practice sometimes. And, we got to do a better job with it. I mean, at the end of the day, we just do. And so, but, we're still learning too. And, now that was game 6. It's time for that to be over though. We got to go out and perform. And, we already, we have some challenges, to overcome, but we're going to work hard as heck to get them those challenges and try to turn them into strengths.
All right, thanks so much.
Thank you.
David, I'll send it back to you. As you will probably hear in the background, the Oak Ridge Wild Band, who did not get to perform at halftime, is going to do their halftime show. Thank you to Powell for letting them come out here and do that. But David, I'll send it back from the field up to you.
Thanks a lot, Alex. We're just moments away from Mark Hayes' final statistics. Why don't we take a quick timeout? Oak Ridge falls to Powell 30-14. We'll be back with Mark's stats following this 2-minute timeout.
Attention, if anyone has lost a cell phone, we have it in the press box.
All right, where's my phone? Sure is. I literally just started looking for it.
I like you can see my his leg like flopping over and like
Badly broken.
yeah, it looked broken. I think it was so. Yeah, the tape it looked like it's a final. It like flopped.
It was a compound fracture. Ugly. Very ugly.
Yeah.
30-14.
What's that?
30-14.
Yeah. I about the light switch.
Mark Hayes back here at Powell High School, where the Wildcats fall to the Panthers tonight by a final score of 30-14. Looking at the statistics, first for Oak Ridge, they were led on the ground by Jovis Dozier. He had 19 carries for 115 yards. Jai Hunley had 51 yards on 10 carries. Alamani Rembert had 2 carries for 10 yards. Connor Cummings had a 2-yard carry. Brandon Hayward, 1 carry, -4 yards. And then Ethan Garza, quarterback for the Wildcats, he had 6 carries, netting a -28 yards. So as a team, the Wildcats rushed the ball 39 times, totaling 146 yards on the ground. Through the air, quarterback for the Wildcats, Ethan Garza, he was 17 of 35 for 246 yards. He did have 1 interception. Brandon Hayward was also, he had a attempt. It was unsuccessful, so he was 0 of 1. So as a team, the Wildcats were 17 of 36 for 246 yards with an interception.
Receiving for the Wildcats, they were led by DeJovis Dozier. He had 4 receptions for 84 yards. Brandon Hayward, 68 yards on 5 receptions. Vashawn Knowles had an impressive 41-yard reception there at the end with 3 seconds remaining on the clock. Will Presley had 27 yards on 3 receptions. Izzy Mitchell had a 14-yard reception. Jai Hunley with a 12-yard reception. Connor Cummings, had a 7-yard reception. And then Almani Rimbert had a reception for -7 yards. So as a team, as I said, on the ground, they had 146 yards on 39 carries. They had 246 yards on 17 receptions for a total offense tonight of 392 yards. Wildcats accumulated 17 first downs in the ballgame. They were penalized 12 times for 95 yards. Now looking at the Powell Panthers, they were led on the ground by Connor Wheeler. He had 115 yards on 11 carries. That's an average of 10.5 yards per carry. Of course, he did have a long tonight of 53 yards. Jordan Potts, quarterback for the Panthers, he had 30 yards on 6 carries. Fabi Niwu had 6 yards on 3 carries.
Hi, Mark.
And Jason Faust had a 5-yard carry. As a team, the Panthers, they carried the ball 21 times, totaling 156 yards on the ground. That's an average of 7.4 yards per carry as a team. Jordan Potts, quarterback, he was 16 of 26 for 266 yards. He had no interceptions. Aiden Green had receiving for the Panthers. Aiden Green had 70 yards on 5 receptions. Darius Redmond, 59 yards on 4 receptions. Trevor Bryant, 51 yards on 3 receptions. Gianni Magdos had a 42-yard reception. Jason Faust had a 33-yard reception. And Connor Wheeler had 11 yards on 2 receptions. So as a team, the Panthers had 156 yards on 21 carries. They had 266 yards on 16 receptions for a total offense tonight of 422 yards. Powell accumulated 9 first downs in the ballgame, and they were penalized 9 times for 90 yards. So look at the team side by side. Oak Ridge rushing yards 146, Powell 156. Yards through the air, Oak Ridge had 246, Powell 266. So total offense, Oak Ridge had total offense of 392 yards, Powell 422 yards. First downs, Oak Ridge had 17, Powell 9. Penalties, Oak Ridge 12 penalties for 95 yards, Powell 9 penalties for 90 yards. Time of possession, Oak Ridge actually had the ball 29 minutes and 13 seconds. Powell, 18 minutes and 47 seconds. David?
Thanks a lot, Mark. The Oak Ridge Wild Band is playing down in front of us. Before we close it out here, Lee, you got any final scores here?
Yeah, I do, David. Some Region 3 action. Of course, last night, Campbell County took down Clinton. That game was obviously on TV. And if you watched it, Campbell County was victorious in that game, went to overtime, a crazy game. Other Region 3 action, Carnes traveled to Lenore City. Carnes victorious in that one, 38-36. Carnes playing some close games. A couple other scores I've got here. Of course, Oak Ridge's next opponent, Greenville. That game will be at Blankenship Field next week. Greenville was victorious over Seymour, 61-0. And then Dobbins-Bennett, Jeff County, a big 6A game. Oak Ridge will travel to Dobbins-Bennett later in the year. Dobbins-Bennett took down Jefferson County, 34-10. A few other scores. Bradley Central fell to Bearden. Bearden 21, Bradley Central 7. Anderson County took care of business at Carter tonight, 49-22. And David, are you sitting down? When's the last time Maryville lost 2 regular season games? Cleveland 28, Maryville 24. That game was at Cleveland, and you know the Blue Raiders, their fans, that's a huge victory.
The key stat there isn't how many they've lost twice in the same year. The fact that they have not lost a region game in over 10 years. That's the stat.
A wild stat, and that's going to be
20 years.
Talk around town of his 6A matchup there. Jeff Minor's Hardin Valley Hawks fell to Farragut 35-0. Sevier County knocked off Halls 7-0.
7-0, a low-scoring matchup there. Fulton knocking off South Doyle 48-29, and West took care of business against Heritage 41-0.
Lee, thanks a lot. Appreciate your help. If you'll run upstairs and start packing things up. Alex, your final comments as we close this one out. 30-14, the final score.
Yeah, I'll be brief. There's not a lot to say. I mean, the penalties, it was an undisciplined performance from Oak Ridge. It was it's not all negative. There were some positives defensively, some positives. I think Ethan Garza was definitely a positive.
Almost 250 yards passing.
Didn't make a bunch of crucial mistakes. Made a couple, but fixable things. But overall, Oak Ridge is better than they showed tonight. But ultimately, you are what the scoreboard says, and Oak Ridge came up short tonight. And it's just a situation where Oak Ridge is simply going. If they want to have the season they want to have, and they want to finish this thing out the way they want to, there's no way around it. They're going to have to be more disciplined. They're going to have to stop shooting themselves in the foot, David.
Final score of the ball game, the Wildcats dropped this one 30-14. Our next broadcast of Oak Ridge High School football will be coming up on Friday. Blankenship-Field, the Wildcats will take on Greenville, another big win for them. Good news out of Truist Park. The Braves win 5-2 over the Mets. They're back in first place in a first-place tie with the Metropolitans. For all our camera guys tonight, Matthew Charles, Lee Wexler, along with Alex Faraxa and Josh Frazier, our statisticians Mark and Shauna Hayes, Brian Bennett back at the station. For Alex Myers, this is David Clary saying so long, everybody. Josh, we used to be good in football.